decor, and more, from our personal gardener to our new bulk yard, where we offer large variety of soil, mulches, and decorative rock. Come see what we have in store. Country Gardens and Nursery, 1401 South, US 189. We'll see you soon and hope to put you in bloom.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
This is your Dairy King pregame show. The Dairy King is winners of Best in State from 2008 to 2021, proudly serving the Heber Valley since 1946. And Ty, this has been a fun week. Wasatch pushed their Tuesday game to Wednesday. We went down to Spanish Fork and saw Wasatch win 11-3 in dominating fashion. And then they bounced back yesterday and were able to do it again, winning 10-0, and it only took 5 innings to do so. Ty, what has been the key to the success for the Wasatch Wasps in this series against a really good program?
Let me give you the numbers that are the key to the success. Wasatch coming into this series, Ty, hitting .276 in region play. Well, against Spanish Fork, they're hitting .423 as a team, Tyler. They are producing and producing and producing. As far as hits and runs, Ty, 22 hits in the series. Out of those 22 hits, 8 have been extra base hits. So they're not just hitting it, but they're hitting it deep to the fence, Tyler. They've been able to drive in a lot of runs. They've chased the pitching of Spanish early, getting into the bullpen just a few innings into this series, Tyler. Spanish has used a lot of guys already. I believe already 9 pitchers thrown in this series for Spanish Fork, and Wasatch is ready to thrive again here, Ty. The Wasps have only had to use 2 pitchers and over those 12 innings of play, whereas Spanish has gone 9 pitchers. It's really the telling tale of the series here, Tyler, is the bats have just been really, really good. But how can you ignore how good the pitching has been as well? Max Walker going 7 innings, striking out 7, only giving up 3 earned runs, and you didn't think you could get better than that, but Cole Zimmerman said, hey, I got a little something a little better. He goes 5 innings, only gives up 1 hit yesterday, and completely shuts out Spanish Fork. Those are your keys to why Wasatch has been so successful.
Ty, we broke down some of the numbers, and I'm going to continue with what you were talking about. .423 batting average, 15 base runners per game for the Wasps, and they're holding Spanish Fork to 5 base runners per game in the 2 games in this series. They've been really good. Those keys to the series have been brought to you by Point S Tires, your local tire expert. Each Point S Tire is independently owned and operated by someone who lives where you live. But Ty, the quote for baseball is momentum is only as good as your next day starting pitcher. Yep. And so, Ty, to break it down today, Blake Sweat's going to be on the mound. What does he need to do in order to keep the momentum up for the Wasps?
Well, what a nice resource the Wasatch has to be able to hand the ball over to Blake Sweat, Tyler, after 2 really good outings from Walker and Zimmerman, because Blake Sweat was in contention at the beginning of this year to be the ace, the number 1. The coaching staff really likes what Blake is able to do. They like his velocity, and he's got capability to go out here and be just as effective as both Cole Zimmerman and Max Walker, Ty. For Blake, though, the stat that stands out for him to be effective, he gets 65% of his outs are through ground balls. So really, Ty, what you're hoping for is that you've got an umpire that's a low zone umpire that's calling that low strike, because those elicit a lot of ground balls, and Blake has been successful when he's pitching to contact. Blake doesn't need to worry about striking guys out. Throw strikes and pitch to contact. If he does that, he'll be able to get a lot of ground balls. Even if guys get on base, that should be able to turn into some double plays throughout the course of the game. And I think Wasatch will be sitting pretty, Ty. The other thing about Blake is he's tended to get a little bit fatigued by the 4th inning or so, around 60 to 70 pitches. And if you're just pitching to contact, you're going to be able to keep that pitch count down a little bit, and he'll probably have a little more success there too. So for me, it's the same story as yesterday. You need a first pitch strike from Blake, and you need to work ahead in the count.
Those keys brought to you by A Good Spa Day, your favorite hometown place to relax and unwind, offering massage, skin care, nail care, and unique relaxing spa packages. Pick A Good Spa Day to be your spa. We're going to step away for the national anthem. When we come back, you'll have your Gordon Law Group starting lineup and the Mountain Refined opening pitch.
Are you ready for lunch? The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving the best food with friends and family in the Valley, and they're the winner of Best of State for 18 years. They've recently been officially named Best of Utah for their milkshakes, and you've just got to try their delicious train burger with an Oreo shake. They also have those yummy salads that just hit the spot. They've been proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. That's the Dairy King, home of the train, serving deliciousness daily. So stop in today.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental grill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Welcome back you've been listening to the Dairy King pregame show. Wasatch baseball against Spanish Fork. Wasatch winners of 2 straight, trying to get the 3-game sweep over the Dons. It's time for our starting lineup, brought to you by the Gordon Law Group, your full-service local law firm practicing in all areas of the law. They take pride in saying, yeah, we do that.
Ty, starting for the Wasps on the mound will be Blake Sweat, throwing to sophomore catcher Landon Carter. On your infield, third base senior Chett Wilson. At shortstop, junior Carter Bucad. Second base senior Alex Gutierrez just committed to play ball at the next level yesterday. We'll get into that a little bit more here later. Cole Zimmerman, senior, starting at first base. In left field, another change here this week. Tad Solser back into the lineup in left, a senior. Crew Erickson, the senior, in center field. And then Tragan Shaw, senior, in right field. That's your starting 9 defensively today.
Opening pitch will be brought to you by Mountain Refined. From design to project completion, our team excels in understanding and implementing your specific lifestyle and taste preferences into your interior design. Come into our showroom in order to find beautiful furniture, bedding, mattresses, decor, and so much more. Today in Game 3, Ty, we're going to have some fun. Wasatch baseball, we've been around Wasatch baseball really our entire lives.
Right?
2002 is when we started to play for this program, coach for this program, and now we have an opportunity to broadcast the games. And in honor of the NFL draft that's happening right now, we're going to have some fun and kind of draft an all-time. Both of us are going to take turns going back and forth on drafting Wasatch greats at different positions, and it'll be a lot of fun to kind of reminisce and go through some great Wasatch history.
It's going to be nearly impossible to do, isn't it, Tyler? Looking through, there's been some good players here for Wasatch over the course of the years here in Wasatch baseball. And I want to throw a wrinkle in there as well for you, Ty. Not just players, coaches. Have to look at some of the all-time great coaches as well if we can get in there. There's been some good ones, going, and we'll get into that maybe a little bit more later, Ty. But that will be fun to kind of go through the history of Wasatch baseball. Before we get too far into this, Ty, I want to take a minute to talk about the past 2 games of this series, if that's all right with you. I'll make it brief. But a lot of times, this is it's a part of the job. As a coach, you get a lot of glory and you get a lot of blame when your team does well. And Wasatch has been through some hills and valleys this year, and I would imagine that Coach Jacobson's been feeling a little bit of pressure and a little bit of heat, Ty. But I have to give him credit over the last couple games, Ty. When things look like they were at their very lowest here with this team just about a week ago, Coach Jacobson has been able to rally the troops, make some adjustments, and there have been some obvious adjustments out here to what Wasatch and this team has been doing this week, and he's been able to get these players to continue to stay bought in and perform well, Ty, and he seems to have had the golden touch this week with substitutions that he's made. Just to give you a couple examples, Zach Burdett getting the start in left field in Game 1. That was a huge game-changing defensive sub, Tyler. He made play after play after play, some big moves from Zach Burdett, and even in that game, a small move, but it was a big move, a pinch hit moment with Garrett Christensen coming in, Tyler, playing Garrett as a deep fly ball hitter that he is, getting him in a spot where he could drive in a run and get a guy tagged up, Ty. As far as the defensive presence, moving guys around, he's done a very good job this week of getting guys in the right position. And then with the pitchers, Tyler, you and I both noticed they have been challenging a lot more this week with the fastball with their pitchers, which has been another great adjustment. And how about the beginning of the season, right? Wasatch tried 4 different catchers. They've kind of landed and narrowed in here on Landon Carter, and Ty is starting to pay off in a big way. The sophomore has gotten really hot over this series, getting hits in each game so far in this series, doing a great job behind the dish. Those are just a few of the things that have happened, Ty, but he's moved the batting lineup. He's kind of structured it a little bit differently to kind of bring out the strengths of all these different players. And with the 9 that he's put out the last couple of days, it's paid off in a big way, Tyler. 22 hits between just 2 games. So shout out to the coaches and Coach Jacobson, Tyler, because everyone likes to talk about the coaches when it's not going well. They deserve some credit when things are going well also. And so we're going to give Coach Jacobson a little bit of a shout out here on that.
Leading off the top of the first will be the center fielder, Ian Ablanot. then second baseman Seth Argyle, and then number three hitter will be the shortstop, Will Dart. And Ty, it's been a sleeping giant, in my opinion, for the Dons in this series. 1 for 15 between these 1, 2, and 3 hitters for Spanish Fork. You got to assume sooner or later they're going to be able to find their bats. And then if you move down to the number 4 hitter, Ty, 2 for 20. So they're hitting 100 in the series. Spanish Fork's 1 through 4 hitters. We'll see if they can find their sticks today. It'll be Blake Sweat on the mound.
You've got this. How many of those are strikeouts? There have been a handful of strikeouts there, but most of those are in play. So 4 out of the 20.
4 out of the 20.
It's actually a little higher number than I would have expected. The Wasatch pitching staff has had their number.
First pitch of the day, Blake Sweat working out of the stretch, and he gets the off-speed strike on the inside corner. Ablanab not happy with the call. Looked to be a little bit up and in, but he gets the called strike. 0-1 here to the opening batter. Sweat again working out of the stretch. Delivers the 0-1. It goes back with the fastball. This one's roped to left field. Tad Sulcer's going to come up and make the play. 2 pitches, 1 away here in the top of the first.
Good to see Tad back out there. Tyler comfortably getting under that ball. I won't get into this too much, Tyler. Maybe his playing wasn't exactly what met the eye. I guess we can just kind of leave it at that. There were some other things going on beyond just what you're seeing on the field. And good to see him get everything squared away so he can get back out there on the field and looking comfortable as ever out there in left field.
Seth Argyle will now be the hitter. 1 for 4 in the series with a walk. Misses low with the fastball. 1-0 the count. Came into the series hitting above 400. He's got 5 extra base hits, including a home run on the year. Misses outside with the fastball again. Moves the count to 2-0. Wasatch wearing their all-white uniforms today. The retro Astros look. Spanish Fork going with their all-gray uniforms. Blake comes set out of the stretch. Pauses a little bit longer. Goes back with the fastball. Foul down the first base side. 2-1 now the count. Infield again today for the Wasps. Chett Wilson at third. Shortstop Carter Bucad. Second baseman Alex Gutierrez and Cole Zimmerman will be playing first base. Gage Sheesh played first base well yesterday with Cole Zimmerman on the mound. Cole back over there at first today. The 2-1 goes back inside. Did he go? Yes, he did. 2-2 now the count.
It's a pretty good start for Blake, Tyler. He's showing command of both pitches and looking to keep these hitters off balance. I had the hitter fooled on that one. Even though it was a hitter's count at 2-1, Blake was able to get him off balance.
2-2, misses upstairs, and we have our first full count of the ball game. It's RPI season, Ty, as well. All Wasatch sports have their eyes on the UHSA website, seeing if they're going to qualify for the state tournament. We'll break that down today as well. Off-speed pitch inside's fouled off, and we'll reset at full count.
I'm excited to see where you go with your Wasatch High School baseball draft a little later on here today.
It was testing day for me, and so while I was monitoring the test, I had an opportunity to do some research, Ty, so I think I might have the upper hand. That one misses upstairs. First walk of the game and first base runner of the game.
You're saying
for the
you think
Dons.
you're going to like your team better than the team
well,
on draft? Is that a challenge?
I just done more research, and so I'm just I did provide the same list that I researched, and so you have that in front of you as well. It's a paper. I'm not sure if you read
You're
paper.
like this new school Moneyball guy, right? I'm the old school scout. The eyes tell me what I've seen over the years.
You can just feel it. You can just feel it in your bones.
I don't need the stats to tell me I've seen it.
Well, I don't have stats. I just made a list of players because I couldn't. I'm getting old. I just got to know who was played over the past 20 years. Runner on first, 1 away for Will Dart, the ASU commit. Upstairs, did it get him? Inside for ball 1. Wasatch has only thrown 2 pitchers in this series, so you have crew available. Bo Jones, Riker Evans, Gage Sheesh, all available today for the Wasps. Sweat working out of the stretch will now come set. Argyle gets another half step over at first base. Long pause from Sweat. Delivers the 0-1, swing and a miss. Delivers the 1-0, swing and a miss. Now count 1-1. Big swing there from Dart, looking over to the dugout. Coach Gubb giving some signs. Dart's going to reset and get into the box. 1-1 the count. Sweat again will come set. Takes a peek, delivers. That one's going to be roped to left field as well. Tad Sulcer reaching back, makes the play again. Another good barrel from the Dons, but it's right at Sulcer, 2 away.
That's not an easy ball to field there, Tyler. That ball coming off with a little more juice. And we've seen in this series time and time again those balls get over the outfielder's head. Tad did a good job. For a moment, it looked like he was going to overrun it, but he swung his hips and his shoulders around and got into a good position to go get that ball above his head. 2 outs there to left field to Tad Solster.
Absolute beautiful day here at the ballpark. No wind, hovering around the low 70s. Just an absolute perfect day to play baseball. It's going to bring up the number 4 hitter and the pitcher today, Riley Lamson. He's 1 for 5 in the series with a strikeout. Came into the series hitting over 400 as well. Had the best batting average on the team coming into the series. Has a couple of extra base hits. Sweat comes set after stepping off the back of the mound. Comes back with a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count.
Ty, a little more about Blake Sweat here. Only a sophomore, and he's got a really bright future here for Wasatch. He's your best strikeout pitcher that Wasatch has. 22 strikeouts in only 15 innings here this year, and that's good for over 10 strikeouts per 7 innings, which is really a phenomenal number here from Blake this year.
Our guy looked like he was going to take off, make Sweat pause a little bit, and that does the damage. That one's upstairs for ball 1. 1-1 the count with 2 away.
And getting a high strikeout percentage like that mixed with his good ground ball percentage, Tyler, when the ball's in play, it's going to be good news for Wasatch. Okay, he's got the ability to get the ball into positions to get guys out, but he's also got the ability to put it past guys.
1-1 goes back with the inside off-speed pitch and lands it for strike 2. 1-2 the count with the runner on first.
The story for Blake, like has been most of the Wasatch pitching staff, where he gets in trouble is he's averaging more than 1 walk per inning as well this year. So he'll strike out a significant number, Ty, but there's a lot of walks that are going with that over the course of the season.
The 1-2 goes back with the fastball. Foul to the third base coach. Nice play by the third base coach. And what would he set at 1-2?
Did you have a player when you were coaching third that you always knew you had to take a couple steps back? You get a little nervous over there on third base?
Tag Baxter. Peyton Swap I'd get nervous about.
Yeah, Pate could put a good bruise on you, couldn't he?
Another foul ball down the third base side. 1-2 now the count. Early returns, Ty, in this first inning. A lot better barrels from this Spanish Fork team. A good barrel to Tad, 2 good barrels to Tad that resulted in outs, but a couple good barrels here from Lamson that have gone foul. 1-2 the count, still 2 away with the runner on first. Sweat comes set. Slide step, delivery, gets him swinging at a ball in the dirt, gets away from Carter. Carter steps, throws it down to first, and Wasatch has the physical of the pit stop goose egg inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner is left on base. It's 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the first.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S. And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the first brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist dedicated to your total recovery from all injuries. Let Dan Ivey and his team get you back to 100%. Leading off the bottom of the first for the Wasps will be Crew Erickson, Tragan Shaw, and Alex Gutierrez. We've mentioned that the Dons have struggled to lead off their order. Wasatch has not. 3 for 4 for Crew, 5 for 6 for Gutierrez. On the mound, Riley Lampson, 5 2/3 innings pitched on the year. Ty has not given up a run, but only has thrown 5 2/3 innings. He'll start ball 1, strike 1 to Crew, who walked 3 times yesterday but scored on all 3 of those. Has 5 runs scored in the series. Another ball moves the count to 2-1. Crew hitting .390 on the year with 20 runs scored, 7 extra base hits, including a home run. Well, there's your low strike, Ty, that you like to see as a pitching coach. 2-2 now the count.
Yeah, that's a good sign for Blake. Take note of that over in the dugout and go right back down there to work next inning.
2-2. Crew's going to get a hold of this one. It's going to be elevated to right center field. Tough play, but right fielder will come over and make the play. 1 away here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, right fielder had that one positioned a little bit, just not quite straight up, Tyler, but they were pretty close, and it made that ball much more manageable, tailing back into him. If he was guarding the line, that ball's probably getting down for multiple bases.
This could be a little bit better fastball than Wasatch has seen in the series here from Lampson. Lampson, a junior for the Dons, working out of the windup here to Tragan Shaw. Tragan's going to swing at the first pitch. It's going to be a chopper to the first base side. Takes a friendly bounce and goes foul. 0-1 the count. Tragan 0 for 4 in the series, but does have 2 RBIs, including a sacrifice fly RBI yesterday. Also has a run scored. Comes in hitting .264 on the year.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about, I asked Tragan yesterday if he had any slump buster superstitions, and he kind of had a funny answer for me, Ty, and won't get into it entirely the way he phrased it, but he was going to change his attire, is what he was going to, the undergarment attire is what he was saying, was something that he wanted to put into play there. Thought that could help him get out of his slump.
1-1 the count. Another fastball upstairs. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now the count. First appearance here for Lampson in the series. 1-2 the count here to Shaw. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Keeps the count at 1-2.
Ty, these wins this week for Wasatch have been big against Spanish Fork. Wasatch coming into this series was ranked number 24 in the RPI, which is the last qualifying spot for the state tournament. After their win in Game 1, they moved up 4 spots to number 20, and they're going to continue to look to try to climb after that. But it is interesting. There is a gap when you get to 20. You look at the RPI percentage points, and it's going to be harder for them to climb as significantly from this point on.
2-2 and now 3-2. Back-to-back called balls here for Tragan, and he fills up the count. Alex Gutierrez on deck has had himself a great series. We'll get into that when he comes up to the box. The payoff pitch here to Tragan. Fastball elevated way high to this infield. Second baseman's going to come over and make the play. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Alex Gutierrez, 5 for 6 with the double and 5 RBIs. He had a 3-hit, 3 RBI day yesterday, including a double over the center fielder's head. Now hitting .362 on the year with 14 RBIs. He'll step in on the left-hand side of the box. Ty, early impressions of Lampson on the mound.
Well, you throw strikes, you're going to be successful, Ty.
This is going to be a ground ball to the forehand side of Will. Dart dives, stands up, makes the play. What a play by the ASU Submit, and Wasatch, for the first time this series, is retired in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. It's 0-0 as we go into the second.
A UCCU home equity line of credit puts your home's equity to work for you. Finish your basement or yard and raise your home's value. Pay off higher interest, help with college or weddings. It's peace of mind knowing that you have a low-rate line of credit ready for whatever, whenever. UCCU will also provide you with a home equity Visa card, giving you instant access to your equity. Learn more or start your application today at uccu.com or stop by any branch. UCCU. Love where you bank.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City. Stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
It's time for the top of the second, brought to you by Wasatch Napa Auto Parts. Your local Napa stocks auto parts, tools, and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today in honor of the NFL Draft. Ty, we're going to go ahead and make our picks for some Wasatch greats on our own Wasatch Baseball Draft. Before we get to that, Ty, up for the Dons will be Dorr, Robinson, and Nielsen. 0-0 to score here in the top of the second.
Ooh, that's a pretty good spot.
Get the call there on the bottom of the zone. 1-0 the count. So, Ty, you get the first pick of the Wasatch Baseball Draft.
Whew, Ty, this is tough because do you want to go offense? Do you go pitching? How do you go? You know me, so you probably know exactly where I'm going to go on this one.
Check, swing, strike. 1-1 the count.
Your team's only as good as your pitching. And so I've got really 3 or 4 names that I'm trying to go between when it comes to pitching, and it's Jackson Bolander. That's where I'm going with this one. Jackson Bolander is my number 1 pick of who I'm going with for Wasatch. So I'm taking him, and it's nice that he can also hit almost 500, maybe hit a few bombs for you. You know, he'll do okay in a lot of different positions for me. I feel really good.
Are we going to snake this so you get first pick? Now I get 2 picks?
Sure, yeah, you can take 2. If you feel like you need that to win,
I think I do now because you actually surprised me with your pick, and so now I'm excited to pick 2 guys in a row is actually why I'm going with that. Foul ball moves count to 1-2 here to Ethan Dorr. So with the number 1 pick in the Wasatch High School Baseball Draft, Jackson Bolander, the great who's up at Lane Community College, leads the team in appearances up there, a 1.6 ERA, 3-0 with 3 saves. He's having himself a nice career. Okay, so I'm going to take number 2 and number 3 pick, and I'm not going to do it in any particular order, but you mentioned pitching and hitting. Well, when you can have both, Ty, that's what you got to go with, right?
Sure.
And so I'm going way back in time. I shouldn't say way back in time. He's going to be mad at me for going way back in time. And there's a check swing strikeout. Second Wasatch Physical Therapy strikeout of the game. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Sweat, and there's one away here in the top of the second. Okay, so with my numbers 1 and 2 picks, I'm going to go Clint Kelson.
Well, that's a really good pick. I mean, that's maybe your best player at Wasatch.
And then with my number 2 pick, I'm going to go Ryan Chadwick. So I'm going to go Clint, Kelson, Ryan Chadwick with numbers 2 and 3 in our baseball draft. We'll have 3 and 4 in the bottom half of the inning. 1-0 the count here to Caleb Robertson, the designated hitter, 1 for 4 in the series with an RBI, and also struck out once in the series.
Gives us a chance to talk about a few of these players if people haven't heard about them. I think most people are familiar.
Another off-speed pitch.
Wow, that was a generous strike call, Ty.
Well, if you're going to get that called, I mean, it's similar to what Walker got in game 1 time. Remember, he kept throwing that high off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate, and Spanish didn't want to go for it. 1-1 the count. Goes back inside with the fastball too far inside, moves the count 2-2-1.
But I was going to say, I think a lot of our listeners know Jackson Bolander really well, Tyler. 4-year player for Wasatch. Never until, well, I shouldn't say never, 1 game in the state tournament against Olympus. Out of all 4 years of starting, he only had 1 game where he gave up more than 3 earned runs. He just is so good. He is always getting you in the game, Tyler. He's probably the best pitcher that's come through Wasatch is what I would say. And last year he hit nearly 500 with a couple bombs as well. Just really, really good.
2-2 the count after another off-speed pitch called strike. Goes back to that same off-speed, and Robertson's able to get a piece of it, foul it off, keeps the count at 2-2.
But your 2 picks, Clint Kelson, you're going way back.
So
Tyler.
I
think wasn't he 89 when Wasatch took second?
I think, yeah.
In the state tournament?
Late 80s, early 90s. Ended up having a great career at Hawaii and then went to Utah and actually was the WAC hitter of the year at the University of Utah. And then Ryan Chadwick, my second pick, Utah Valley University. One too many off-speed pitches. That time Robinson's able to connect and goes with a base knock up the middle for a single. First hit of the day for either team goes to Ethan Robinson.
So I'm going to give you a hard time. I see what you're doing, Ty. You're just like everyone else in baseball. You just put a lot of stock into the name that's on the college jersey. Right, you don't care the actual player there on the field, but if they're D1, you're gonna give them credit over some of these other guys.
If they're D1, if they're WAC hitter of the year, if you have the record for most appearances at Utah Valley University when you graduate.
Okay, so I think I'll go with that. Got some good numbers. Yeah, Clint, that's not bad. Playing in the farms. Who was he? The Cardinals? Is that who he played for?
Yeah, hit the Marriott Center when he played at BYU. Like hit the actual Marriott Center with the ball.
I'm just saying you talk about that as if Jackson Bolander playing at Lane is not in that category.
And we both feel like he's going to end up playing probably Pac-12.
I think Jackson, if he wanted to fish for a D1, he could have went D1 last year, Tyler, but he had a specific plan he wanted to follow, which is why he went to Lane.
1-0 the count here to Britt Nilsson, who's had a good series. He's 2 for 4, the only Don with multiple hits in the series. 1-1 now the count here to Nilsson. Again, 2 for 4 with a run scored and a double. Ty, really, I think we could agree with this. The 3 that we just drafted are 1A, 1B, 1C, right? I mean, all 3 of those guys are just top-notch.
You'd be happy
with
any of them on your team. Yeah, absolutely.
If you would have picked Clint, I'd have gone Bolander and Chatty. If you'd have picked Chad, I'd have gone Clint Kelson and Jackson Bolander. Runner's going to go. It's a hit and run. This one's elevated to center field. Crew floating back, makes the play. He's going to try to gun this one to first base. Cole Zimmerman's going to have to knock it down. Runner's going to think about going, and Cole's able to recover. 2 away here in the top of the second.
So do I need to make another pick here, Ty, before this inning's
sure.
over? Or
yeah,
are we waiting here?
No, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do two an inning. So you got one
snaking,
more.
Is that what you're saying? So
you pick one, and then you'll also start the next inning.
Okay. I might drag this out so I can have a little more time to think about it over here. Because Chatty, I thought for sure was going to be available for me.
Walker,
and that's going to be a hard lineup to beat, Tyler. Bolander starting and Chatty coming in 90-plus to shut it down.
It's going to bring up Walker Evans for the Dons. He's 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs in the series. Also hitting .231 on the year. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So it's gone to the off-speed often here in the early innings.
Those guys played against some greats, too, Tyler. Clint Kelson has some stories, against you talked about, I think Craig Counsell was on the team there,
Brett
right?
Boone.
And a lot of people currently know who C.J. Crone is in the bigs. Has been an all-star. Ryan Chadwick struck him out when he was playing at Utah.
Hanging slider, right? You
got him a couple times. That's what he says.
Can't hit the hanging slider.
You can't hit the hanging slider is what he used to joke.
0-1 the count. Back to the off-speed. It's a ground ball to Chett. Chet sits on it, fields it clean, throws it across the diamond in time, and Wasatch gets out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. It is 0-0 as we go into the bottom of the second.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Bag Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Bag Flooring and Paints.
Hi, this is Audra with Wasatch Behavioral Health and the Caring Community Coalition. Did you know when kids feel close to their parents, they are more likely to listen to them when they set clear boundaries about alcohol and drugs? Doing things with your children they are interested in and taking time to talk with them about their day will help create strong bonds. A great goal is to spend at least 15 minutes a day of one-on-one time with each child. All kids need a parent's help to stay drug and alcohol free. To learn more, visit our Facebook page, the Caring Community Coalition of Wasatch County.
5, 4, 3, 2.
KTMP, Heber City, and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Bottom of the second brought to you by Physical at the Fit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries. Have been proudly serving the Heber Valley for the last 40 years. Up for the Wasps will be Chett Wilson, Cole Zimmerman, and the junior, Carter Bucad. Chett, 4 for 7 in the series, a triple yesterday, has 2 RBIs in the series as well. He's going to try to lay down the drag bunt. It's going to go into the Spanish Fork dugout for strike 1. Also comes in hitting .482, 19 runs scored, 16 RBIs, 9 extra base hits, including 1 home run. Lamson back on the mound. Got the Wasps out in order to start the game. 1, 2, 3. Now he'll go low and outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Cole Zimmerman on deck. And then again in the hole will be Carter Bucad. Net Lamson back into the windup, delivers. That one's going to bounce to Cal Nelson, the catcher. Ball 2. If you're just joining us, we're going to do the Wasatch Baseball Draft today in honor of the NFL Draft that's happening right now. So we're going to go back in time and draft who we think are some of the Wasatch greats here at Wasatch High School. Another ball here to Chett Wilson. Jackson Bolander went number 1 to Tyler Moss, and then I took Clint Kelson and Ryan Chadwick with my first 2 picks, and now it's up for Ty to have his second pick. 3-1 the count here to Chett. He'll take strike 2, and that'll fill up the count.
You're just waiting patiently for me to make my pick.
You look deep in thought. You look deep in thought. So I'm trying not to interrupt.
I like all of these guys over here, Tyler.
It's a fun list that I put together, going back in time.
Good job.
Full count pitch here to Chett. Inside, too far inside. Chett's actually going to take that one off the hip.
Both Chett and crew have done that between this game and last game, taking ball 4 off the body when they could have moved. Got some tough guys
Is
out
that
here.
is that intimidating to the pitcher, Ty, when a guy stands in there and is like, ball for it? I'm
I'll
willing to
just
take
it
your
because
fastball.
you're throwing so soft, right?
I
There's
mean,
got to be a message sent.
To
there,
me, though, Ty, Lamson has a little bit more on the fastball than what we've seen from the other Spanish Fork Dons. Hasn't been able to locate the off-speed very well so far. We'll see if Wasatch is able to jump on the fastball. Cole Zimmerman will come up with nobody out. That's the first base runner of the game for Wasatch. Wasatch has had success running on Spanish Fork in the series. Strike one
Don's
here to the Zimmerman.
Definitely expecting a bunt here as the third baseman was creeping up, Tyler. And when that ball was going across home plate, that third baseman was reeling on his heels like, oh, crap, he's not bunting, and I'm 40 feet away over here. I'm in for it. See if Cole can get one by him.
0-1. Lamson will step off the back, throw it over to first, not in time.
And I don't blame him, Ty. They're starting him about 70 feet, and then he's creeping in, and Cole's not squaring at this point. Maybe he'll square on this particular play, but that's a dangerous spot for a third baseman to be because Cole's got a lot of pop to the opposite side of the field, Ty. He can hit it just as hard down that third baseline as he can down the first baseline there as a lefty.
Better pickoff move, not in time again. So back-to-back pickoff moves will reset. 0-1 the count. Zimmerman in the box. The pitch. That one misses low and inside for ball two. Ball one. 1-1 the count.
All right, you ready for my next
pick?
Yes,
you ready?
I've thought long and hard about this, Tyler, and it's going to be Parker Sweat.
All right.
So Parker Sweat, a lot of people may not know, he was a first-team All-Stater 2005, All-Stater in 2004 as a sophomore. Wow, what a jump.
Chett Wilson's going to take off on the pitch. Slides by the bag, keeps his hand on it. The Gravity Coalition stolen base, and Wasatch has a runner in scoring position with a 1-2 count. Cole does a good job of taking the strike. And now he has a chance to get the first run across for either team.
Ty, that's as good a jump as I've seen all year from Chett. He's basically standing on second before that ball's past the pitcher. Really good read, really good jump.
Wasatch has done well at taking advantage of base runners. 1-2 the count here to Cole with a runner on second. The pitch inside, Cole. Check swing did not go. It'll be 2-2.
Ty Parker was so good, though. I mean, he could cover the outfield better than any outfielder that I've ever seen at Wasatch. Played center field, and there just were no gaps out there. There were no gaps with Parker in the outfield. He covered it all. He wasn't afraid to go lay out completely and go catch the ball. A tremendous arm, Tyler. He could throw a laser from the fence. I was his catcher, so I watched him do it. 300 feet plus, it didn't matter. He could hit you on the fly. Just a spectacular center fielder was Parker Sweat, who's now Coach Sweat, helping coach this team.
2-2. Cole's going to elevate this one to right field. Chett should be able to tag on this one. Third baseman's going to come over, make the play. Chett tags, goes to third. Spanish thinks he left early. Did he leave early? Yes, he did. Wasatch with the double play as Chett leaves early on the fly ball to right field. 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
Well, that's too bad, Ty. Just got a little overly aggressive there. That'll end the threat here, at least for a moment.
Really first base running mistake that Wasatch has had in the series. They've been really good at running the bases. They're going to be Carter Bucad, 2 for 6 in the series with 3 runs scored, and that's his season average as well, 333. He'll take ball one.
Ty Parker, I want to finish for our listeners that may not know Parker, because Parker's nearly 20 years ago. You know, a lot of people listening may not.
Are we that old?
Yeah, it's been a while, huh? And it just may not be familiar. So he's got one of the more iconic Wasatch High School baseball moments as well. I think you put Chett Wilson's triple last year against Jordan in the state tournament right up there with this, but it was one of those types of moments. Wasatch was playing Carbon in the quarterfinals down at Dixie State. I think 2005.
2005.
Bases loaded, had a really good lefty on the mound. Martinez was his name. He ended up going. Yeah, went and played at Utah. Really good player. And Coach Sweat just put a ball into outer space on him. Hit a grand slam over the trees down there at Dixie State. It was an absolute bomb in that game, and tightened that one up. Wasatch was down 5 before he hit that shot, and it was a big moment there for Wasatch. Really, really good. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to play his senior year, Tyler, and so a lot of people aren't familiar with him because he didn't play his senior year. He was getting looked at at the time by some Pac-10 schools, had some really big recruitments, but when he didn't play his senior year, that recruitment kind of fell off, ended up going the junior college route.
2-2 the count, and Bucad is going to rope one off of Lamson, and is it in time? It brought him off the bag, but he got back down on the bag just in time, and Wasatch is retired. That ball was smoked. I'm wondering if Lamson's okay, Ty. But Wasatch is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's still 0-0 as we move into the third.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasp football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
Hi, I'm Stacy McKay, branch manager at Bank of Utah, where we provide financial services to businesses and individuals in our community, and we are proud to support Wasatch High School. As one of the nation's top performing banks, we've been delivering exceptional value for over 70 years. So whether you're looking to grow a business or raise a family, we can help you every step of the way, because your Utah is our Utah. Come see me at our Heber branch and experience the hands-on customer service that only comes from a hometown bank. Bank of Utah is an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the third brought to you by Wasatch Behavioral Health, founded in 1967, providing quality mental health care for all individuals within Utah and Wasatch counties. Wasatch Behavioral Health is a comprehensive community behavioral health center. They offer a wide array of programs and services for children, teens, and adults. It's 0-0 as we go into the top of the third inning.
Man, Carter really put the good barrel on that one, didn't he, Tyler? Too bad it was just right back at the pitcher. And I think you're right. When he hit him, Ty, that pitcher took a minute to get to the ball, and the throw was not good.
No.
It was kind of a lazy floater throw that had the first baseman jumping a little bit. Wonder if that's going to be hurting him for a little bit here and how he'll perform the rest of the game.
Leading off the top of the third for the Dons will be Cal Nilsson, and then up to the top of the order with Ablanop and Argyle. Strike one here to Cal Nilsson. He's 1 for 3 in the series with a run scored, only hitting 148 on the year, but he's been a really good backstop for the Dons in all 3 games. Wasatch trying to complete the sweep. They won Game 1 11-3, won Game 2 10-0 in 5 innings. 0-2 now the count after the swing and a miss.
Ty, I know the inning ended there, and I kind of said quite a bit here about Coach Sweat, but I'll just kind of finish this thought. Coach Sweat kind of had a fun experience after Wasatch, where he was a great player. He went down and played at CEU at the time, College of Eastern Utah. Played at Slick, went down to CEU, but it was the same time Bryce Harper was playing for Southern Nevada, and they were in the same conference. And so, I mean, that was good baseball that he was playing, Wood Bat League, and said when Bryce Harper came there to play, it was just phenomenal. I think he hit like 5 home runs in 4 games against them. You know, just was a catcher at the time, was Bryce Harper, but had a chance to play against some really good ones as well.
The 2-2, did he go? Ooh. No, he did not. It looked like he did to me as well. Full count now. Here to Cal Nilsson.
Blake's got a good breaking pitch working right now. Sweat, that is, Tyler. Blake Sweat on the mound for Wasatch today. He's been able to keep the Dons pretty well off balance.
Blake comes set in the stretch. Delivers the payoff.
Yes.
Ring him up. Strike 3. Third. Physical at the pit stop. Strikeout of the game. And Wasatch has the first guy retired here in the top of the third.
Well, isn't that one of those pitches as a coach when you're walking back at the dugout, you say, what are you looking at? I mean, that ball that's over the heart of the plate. I mean, you're looking 3-2. What else are you looking for there? But I think that's a credit that Blake has mixed up the pitches, right? I think he was probably looking for a different pitch and just froze him when he got that one coming down the middle.
Bring us back up to the top of the order. It'll be Ian Ablanop, the center fielder. He flew out to left field on a pretty good barrel to Tad Sulcer. He's now 0 for 6 in the series, still looking for his first hit against the Wasps. Blake misses high for ball 1. Comes back set, delivers. Goes back to the off speed on the inside, but too far inside, misses 2-0.
So, Ty, if you know me, which I think you do, you know what I prioritize on the baseball field. And you probably can guess where my next pick is going to go. It's there's some things I think are more important than others on the field.
So you're going to go catcher right here.
I'm going to go catcher, yeah, and so I'm going to go down behind the dish, and I'm going to take David Wade with my next pick.
You're going to take David?
Yeah, David Wade.
That was my next pick.
Wade. Well,
that's all right. That frees up my next pick then. So you're going to go back in time a little bit and go David Wade. Ball 4.
Well, you
so
say
4
that
straight
since
pitches.
He's your relative. Why don't you call him old there, Tyler, if you want? But I think he's not that old, David. David, Mirror Lake sponsor here. One of the greats, Ty. Really really good catcher. In fact, easily the best catcher in the state that year. If it was any other year, he was catching behind a MLB All-Star catcher, which Wasatch doesn't have any others of those. It was John Buck at Taylorsville the same year David was catching here, but those guys were phenomenal catchers. So David, I think he had 10-plus home runs his senior season, I believe, for Wasatch. Tyler, just a really good bat and a great catch behind the dish.
Swing and a miss here to Seth Argyle as Avalon walks on 4 straight pitches, but Blake comes back with a strike here to Argyle. 1 away, runner on first for the lefty who's in the box. 1 for 4 again in the series. Second leading batting average on the team.
Yeah, he's got some good pop, Ty. Tragan needs to be ready out there in right field. Likes to get the bad head out.
Sweat.
Late call from the umpire.
And he does, and I think that was a benefit to Wasatch. It was a strike, too, but it was a really good jump from Ablanap, and he was going to be safe at second. So 0-1 the count. Will remain 0-1 the count.
So, Ty, I like the way my lineup is shaping.
So
Bolander on the mound.
Sweat.
I got David Wade behind the dish and Parker Sweat in center field. It's like the Benchwarmers movie. You just need 3 players out there. I got it pretty well covered with those 3. Bolander's good enough. He can have the hitters hit it wherever he wants. So Parker can go catch everything out there in center field.
0-1 the count here to Argyle. Misses outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count, 1 away with a runner on first.
Ty, big game in this series. If you've been kind of in and out this season with Wasatch, it's been some hills and valleys. Wasatch was number 24 in the RPI starting this series, got a win on Wednesday, moved up to number 20. Their win yesterday didn't move them up at all either. They're still number 20 in the RPI, but they're closing on 18 and 19, which is Uinta at 18 and Provo at 19. That's gotten a lot more tight after a win yesterday, and a win today could push them over the edge there to jump up a little bit higher.
2-1 now the count to Argyle. After getting the good jump on the timeout that was called, Avlanop has not left first base, although he's got a really good lead right now at first. Playing center field, has good speed. Sweat's going to take a long look. Now comes Set and takes another half step. He is going to go. That's in there for a strike. Good pop time here from Carter. Oh, but the ball squirts loose. I think he would have had him out, but the ball squirts loose, and Spanish Fork has their first stolen base of the series. It's a 2-2 count here to the hitter Argyle.
That's a good job from Landon, Tyler. He did a good job to get his feet up, moving quickly, had a good throw down there. It just kind of started tailing a little bit. One thing you like to coach your catchers, and this is a lot easier said than done, is when you grip it, you want to get to 4 seams, pulling it out of your glove. And that's really hard to do in that transitional phase, but the 4 seams allow less tailing action. And on that ball really started to take off as it got closer to second, pulled Bucad off a little bit, and he had a hard time handling it to get the tag down.
Sweat tries to go backdoor curveball there, doesn't get the call, and that's now another full count here to Argyle. Argyle went to the full count in his first at bat as well. Seeing a lot of pitches here against Sweat. Don's trying to get their first lead since 2-0 in the second inning of game 1. Nice pitch there from Sweat. It's a foul ball, and we'll reset with the count full. Argyle back into the box, walked his first at-bat. He's 1 for 4 in the series. First runner to reach second base for the Dons today. Sweat takes 2 looks, delivers another almost exact same spot, and another foul ball.
That's a good job by the hitter, because that is a perfect pitch from Blake, Tyler. Had that down and in, kind of breaking away at the hands of the hitter, and he was able to get the barrel down just enough to foul that off. Normally, that's either a strikeout pitch or the hitter's going to pound that thing in the dirt over to Gutierrez at second base.
Full count pitch, misses with the fastball. Landon Carter does a great job of keeping that in front of him, keeps the runner at second base, but back-to-back walks, and Spanish Fork is in business with runners on first and second. And 1 away. Brings up the number 3 hitter, Will Dart, 0 for 7 in the series. But you got to assume he's going to get hit sooner or later, and he did have a good barrel in his last at-bat to Tad Sulser.
Yeah, had a good barrel and made a good play there to end the first inning, Tyler, a diving grab up the middle. And so he's kind of got some swagger, some momentum back on his side here at the beginning of this game.
Wasatch wants to talk it over. This trip to the mound brought to you by Mirror Lake Station, voted best donuts in Utah. Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies.
This is a curious moment, though, Ty, because Gub Nelson, the head coach there at Spanish Fork, has never been shy to lay it down. So this is usually a bunt situation for him. But you've got your best hitter coming up, 1 out, runners on second and first base. probably going to let him swing away, I would imagine, here with some pop and Dart getting a little bit of that swagger back. But normally Gubb would not be shy to try to move these guys over to second and third base on this play. Still might maybe get a drag bunt. Dart's got some wheels as well, Ty, but I would assume they're going to let him try to swing this one.
We're back at it. Wasatch Spanish Fork knotted at 0-0 here in the top of the third. One away, runners on first and second after back-to-back walks from Sweat on the mound. It's Will Dart in the box, the shortstop. Blake delivers off speed, gets the inside call again for strike one. Wasatch leaving a big 5-6 hole open as Carter and Gutierrez playing double play depth and trying to keep Avalon up close at second base. Chett playing back at third, Cole playing in front of the base runner at first base. Tad playing deep in left, Crew and Tragan playing straight up in center and in right. 2 looks, delivers, bounces it in. Carter does a good job of smothering it again. 1-1 the count.
Blake made Dart wait a long time. He actually held up his hand trying to get a timeout, but Blake had started his motion and the umpire didn't award it. But I think that might have actually thrown Blake off, as I think when he turned, he saw Dart's hand up. And maybe for just a split second, lost his concentration and put that ball in the dirt in front of home plate.
1-1 the count. Blake gets the sign, comes set. Long look at Avalon. Now he'll deliver. Fastball fouled off for strike 2. 1-2 now the count.
The whole Wasatch pitching staff has done a good job getting in on the hands of Dart this series, don't you think, Ty?
Yeah,
they've gotten those fastballs in. He likes to get up on the plate, and they've made him uncomfortable. They've located better on him than any other hitter.
And both Walker and Sweat have been able to go inside with the curveball, which they haven't left it over the plate. And so that curveball on the inside, Spanish Fork hasn't been able to get their hands through it. It's a 1-2 count here with one away. A second look and a delivery. Fastball. That one's a base knock up the middle. Ablanov's going to round third. He'll score. Runners trying to advance from first to third, and he will. So runners on the corners, one away as Dart gets his first hit of the series and the RBI.
Ty, I got to give this kid a hard time, though. Did you see him going down the line there to first base? The whole way he's holding up his finger to the mouth, shushing the Wasatch dugout. And I just think that's hilariously arrogant for a couple reasons, because you're 0 for your life against Wasatch at this point in 3 years. Has not had a lot of success, Tyler. Wasatch has owned him over the last 3 years. You're in Game 3 of this series. You're 0 for 1 already, and you get a single up the middle. It's a nice hit, but I don't think that's shush-worthy to the Wasatch dugout as he's running down. Only 2 umpires. The umpires didn't see it. The umpires usually don't stand for that kind of behavior, and if they saw it, they would be having a word with him right now. But that's kind of an interesting moment. Let's see if that gets the Wasatch side fired up, coming back at him the other way.
First and third, one away. Spanish Fork takes the 1-0 lead here in the top of the third. It'll bring up Riley Lamson, the pitcher, try and help himself out. That ball's in the dirt. Good jump there from Dart, and he will advance to second stolen base of the day. And now Spanish Fork has runners on second and third with 1 out. Lamson comes in, struck out in his first at bat. He's now 1 for 6 in the series. Wasatch going ahead and playing back. Corners are playing even with the bag. 1-0, swing and a miss, moves the count to 1-1. But Wasatch opting to leave their middle infielders back. Like the move there, Ty. Wasatch has been good in the plate. Don't need to panic too early in this ball game. 1-1 the count. Sweat comes set, delivers. Strike 2, 1-2 now the count.
Well, and for multiple reasons, you don't need to panic, Ty. You've been averaging over double-digit hits per game, Tyler. Double-digit runs per game as well. 10.5 runs in this series. Spanish Fork is on double-digit pitchers in this series as well, so they're going to be spent in their bullpen.
1-2. This one's going to be chopped back to Sweat. Sweat can't handle it. It's going to go off his leg. It was a weird bounce, and Sweat can't field it. And that'll be a freebie as Lamson will advance to first, and the bases are now loaded.
Yeah, Blake just came back, or was trying to hustle on that. It was an awkward ball, and it hit off his knee, Tyler, and ricocheted. He knew he was going to need to speed it up and get it down the line quickly. I think he took his eye off the ball for just a second, and the knee came up and hit into that one.
Bases are loaded, 1 away. We'll have a speed-up runner as Lamson will come out of the game as the pitcher. But it does put the double play in order. Tough break, though. That would have been an easy out, and the runner was staying at third base. Wasatch infield once again comes in to chat it over. I think I'm ready to make my next pick, Ty. So if you're just joining us, we're doing the Wasatch High School baseball draft in honor of the NFL draft that's happening Your top 5 picks in order. Jackson Bolander went number 1. Number 2, Clint Kelson. Number 3, Ryan Chadwick. Number 4, Parker Sweat. Number 5, David Wade. And with the 6th pick, Ty, I'm going to follow your lead and go catcher as well, and I'm going to go Tag Baxter as my catcher with my number 3
I like that pick, Ty. I almost didn't take David because I knew Tag would be waiting if I didn't take David. And to me, that was kind of a 1A, 1B. I really like Tag as well as a catcher, so that's a good, solid pick.
Strike one here to Ethan Dorr, the first baseman. 1 for 6 in the series, struck out in his first at bat. He comes up with the bases loaded, 1 away. Wasatch playing double play depth across the board. Doesn't get the call on the inside. 1-1 now the count. Spanish Fork trying to break this thing open. Wasatch trying to minimize. Wasatch unable to score in the first 2 innings and have given up 1 run already on the RBI single from Dart, who currently stands on second base. The 1-1. This is low and outside. Ball 2. No action in the bullpen for the Wasps. 2 on the count here with Sweat on the mound. Landon Carter's done a good job behind the dish so far today. 2 on the count. Sweat comes set, delivers. That one's in there for a strike. Moves the count to 2-2. Dora righty. Singled in game 1 and scored in game 1. Trying to come up with another single here. Spanish has done a good job being on the barrel so far today. 2-2 the count with 1 away. Sweat comes set, delivers. Too far outside. Fills up the count at 4. Full count here for the sophomore. Facing off against the senior from Spanish Fork, and we're going to have another trip to the mound. 3rd trip to the mound from the catcher. Carter wants to make sure they're on the same page with the signs with the runner on second base. I wanted to make a point with our first 4 picks, Bolander, Clint Kelson, Chadwick, and Sweat. Jackson Bolander on that team last year that made it to the final 8, ended up taking 5th. Chadwick and Sweat, part of those teams that took 3rd back-to-back years. And then Clint Kelson made it to Wasatch's Lone State Championship. So not only greats, but winners.
Find ways to get it done and win, Ty.
Another base on balls, the 3rd of the inning, and that is going to bring in run number 2 for the Dons.
Well, Ty, Mr. Will Dart annoyed me with his hit going down the line. So while you've been talking over here, I've been doing a little calculating. And this guy, this is really to Wasatch's credit. He's been a 3-year starter for Spanish Fork, committed to Arizona State to play shortstop. Good player. In his career against Wasatch, he's hitting 190. Not a good showing against Wasatch. And he's got 3 fielding errors on top of that. The Wasps have had his number for whatever reason. 4 for 21 against Wasatch over the course of his career.
That one's going to get by Carter, gets between his legs, and yet another run comes in to score, and the Dons now take a 3-0 lead.
Well, the wheels are shaking here a little bit, aren't they, Ty, for the Wasps? Need someone to step up and make a play.
I think they're going to go to Crew Erickson to try to stop the bleeding. We'll go ahead and take a break. We've got a Tony's Tacos pitching change coming up after this.
Well, folks, spring is near, but have no fear. Country Gardens and Nursery is here for your everyday garden supplies, decor, and more. From our personal gardener to our new bulk yard, where we offer large variety of soil, mulches, and decorative rock. Come see what we have in store. Country Gardens and Nursery, 1401 South, US 189. We'll see you soon and hope to put you in bloom.
Are you ready for lunch? The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving the best food with friends and family in the Valley, and they're the winner of Best of State for 18 years. They've recently been officially named Best of Utah for their milkshakes, and you've just got to try their delicious train burger with an Oreo shake. They also have those yummy salads that just hit the spot. They've been proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. That's the Dairy King, home of the train, serving deliciousness daily. So stop in today.
Wasatch High School Sports is on the radio.
Pitching change brought to you by Tony's Tacos. Best tacos in town, but that's not all they have. Stop in for their burritos, chili rellenos, tortas, and flautas right there in the location on Main Street. Have probably been in business since 2001. It'll be Crew Erickson on the mound for the Wasps. Crew comes in to the game today with 11 2/3 innings pitched and a 2.40 ERA. Runners on second and third, one out. And we talked about the freebies, and Wasatch has been so good in this series. Only one freebie in game one, only one walk in game two, but already today, Wasatch working on 5 freebies and 4 coming in this inning.
Yeah, they'll kill you.
Excuse me, 5 in this inning. 3 walks and 2 errors in this inning, and that has produced 3 runs for the Dons.
They'll just kill you, and they'll give the other team momentum, Ty. So you're going to Crew, who doesn't do that, Ty. He just doesn't walk guys. He's in the zone. Now, the stats will tell you, Ty, Crew's your best first pitch strike thrower, but teams also have a pretty high batting average on his first pitch. And so teams will get into action. They're not intimidated by Crew and his velocity. So Crew might be better served to try to mix up a first pitch look to some teams, especially when he comes in here with runners on base. Teams are going to come in looking to get after that first pitch, hoping that it's a fastball here, especially with less than 2 outs. See if Crew wants to come in and maybe try to throw the hammer early on, Ty, and get teams off balance and get to a strikeout part of this count.
He will be facing off against Caleb Robertson with 1 ball. I believe there's 1 ball on Robertson, right? There was a pass ball.
Yeah.
So there's 1-0 the count with 1 away. Robertson singled up the middle in his first at-bat. Then he'll face Britt Nilsson on deck, who flew out to center field. Wasatch will bring the infield in now, trailing 3-0 in the top of the third. Going into right field will be Zach Burdett.
That's what I was going to say. Zach Burdett comes in as Tragan Shaw moves to center to fill in for Erickson, who came in to pitch.
Crew is going to work out of the windup with runners on second and third, and he's going to go off speed like you suggested, Ty, but it's going to go off the helmet of Robertson. That is the 4th walk or hit by pitch of the inning now for the Wasps. Loads up the bases.
I think it's the right idea with the pitch, Ty. Just not good execution there. Now you got a double play in order. It's not the end of the world there on that hit by pitch.
Britt Nelson will come up 2 for 5 in the series with a double. The lone extra base hit for the Dons. Swing and a miss on the fastball for strike 1.
Hey,
Crew back working out of the windup.
If that's going to be the swing here from Nilsson, Ty, Crew wants to go back out to that outside part of the plate. He was trying to pull that ball down and away, could get you a ground ball to the shortstop.
Tries to go off speed, but it's too high for ball 1. 1-1 now the count. Again, 1 away. Wasatch trailing 3-0 after giving up a 3 spot so far in this inning, but Spanish Fork is still threatening with the bases juiced. Crew, again out of the windup, gets the sign from Landon Carter. Delivers. Back to the off speed, not locating the off speed. 2-1 now the count.
Ty, you ready to make your next pick yet?
Not yet. I got the bottom half to still make.
I think we need to clarify here. Where are you playing Ryan Chadwick?
I know that's what I'm thinking. 2-1 now the count. And it's going to be a lazy ground ball to the left side. Flips it to Gutierrez. Gutierrez to first. Do they get it? No, they call him safe at first.
That can't be that they said he beat that, Tyler. That was a poor call if they said he beat that. That ball was there over a half a step before him.
Wasatch gets the runner at second.
Or something, but that ball was there.
Fielder's choice ground out. It only results in 1 out. So runners on the corners, 2 away, but another run comes in for the Dons.
Ooh, that's a tough call. I'd like to hear the umpire's explanation there on that, Ty, as to what he's seeing.
It's going to bring up Walker Evans, who grounded out to the third baseman. That one's low. 4-1.
Maybe sometimes your eyes, you see what you want to see, right? And maybe I need to ask you, that ball, did he beat it out, Ty?
No, I thought it was an out.
Seemed like it got there a little early.
1-0 the count. Runners on the corners, 2 away. Evans in the box. He grounded out to Chett in his last at bat. This one's going to bounce. Runner will stay at first, and the runner will stay at third as well. Good play there from Landon Carter. 2-0 now the count. Carter Bucad was pretty sure he had that one, Ty. Usually kind of an emotionless player, but he was not happy with that call. It was a ground ball to Gutierrez. He flipped it to Bucad, and Bucad thought he had him at first. Umpire disagreed. We'll see if it pays off for the Dons. 2-0 the count with two away. Crew comes set, and we have a timeout.
And I was surprised Coach Jacobson didn't come out of the dugout, Ty, and could be many reasons for that. Maybe Coach thought the call was right. Maybe he feels the emotion of his team as well, and he didn't want to come out and get them too irrational about one call. And if that's the case, really credit to Coach Jacobson, Ty, because the team will mirror the attitude of the coach. And if he stays calm, doesn't make it a big deal, can help his team stay level-headed and come back and just respond the next inning. But we'll get a chance to talk to him after the game and see kind of what he thought as far as that call goes, too. Either way, Wasatch has to move on here and get this guy.
2-0 the count again. Runners on the corners. 4 runs in already in the inning for the Dons. They lead 4-0. Crew delivers. This one's going to be elevated foul behind us in the softball field. 2-1 now the count.
Evans has been a nice little player for Spanish Fork this week, Ty, number 1 here at the plate. But he has been a pull-side hitter. He's been trying to get the bat head out, take it over to the left side of the field. And so the defensive positioning right now, the way Bucad's playing a little more up the middle, is a dangerous position.
2-1 the count, misses with the off-speed again, so that moves the count 2-3-1. Want to give an update on some other sports that are happening around Wasatch High School. The boys lacrosse team are now 7-3, are number 6 in the RPI standings with 6 games remaining. 3-1 the count here to Evans. He'll bounce it, and that's another walk. That is walk number 5 in the inning for the Wasatch pitching staff. That'll reload the bases for the number 9 hitter who actually led off the inning with a backwards K, the catcher Cal Nilsson. 1 for 4 now in the series. Girls lacrosse team is also having a good year, Ty. They're 5-3 and currently ranked number 7 in the RPI. Both teams are playing Spanish Fork today. Lacrosse will be at home, and the boys lacrosse team will be down at Spanish Fork. Both teams with 6 games remaining, but look to be secured to get into the playoffs. Strike 1 here to Nilsson. Crew back working out of the windup. Taking his time, now gets the call. Delivers the 0-1. That one's low for ball 1. 1-1 now the count.
Ty, you keep buying your time. You're on the clock here.
I haven't till the end of the third inning.
Your pick
oh no, I guess you haven't. All right, we have 2 more picks.
I can jump and take the pick. Isn't that how the rule works?
Minnesota Vikings here. Swing and a miss for strike 2. 1-2 now the count. With 2 away. I felt like I gave you too much time to make that David Wade pick, and so I feel like I need to shorten your time.
That commercial break did change what I was going to do. I had a different name written on the card to take to the commissioner, and I switched my mind.
1-2. This one's going to be roped to right field. Zach Burdett floating, makes the play, and Wasatch able to get out of it, but not before 4 runs come in on just 2 hits, 2 errors, and the bases were juiced at the end of the inning. Wasatch trails 4-0 as we go into the bottom of the third.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental grill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. KTMP Heber City and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Bottom of the third inning brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Voted best donuts in Utah. Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, goodies, and more. Stop on in today, located in Camas, and say hello. Also, owner David Wade, my draft pick here, Tyler, just recently in our best Wasatch baseball players in the history of Wasatch baseball in honor of the NFL draft. We're holding our own draft and I'm surprised you passed up on your own family. Didn't take Uncle David. Gave me a chance to go draft him as my catcher.
I'm sure I might hear from him later. Wasatch so far has gone down in order, Ty. They do have one base runner on a hit by pitch, but then had a double play. So Wasatch was 7, 8, 9 up. Spanish Fork already threw their lineup twice, leading 4-0. It'll be Landon Carter, Gage Sheesh, and then Tad Sulcer to lead it off here in the bottom of the third.
Wasatch needs a response this inning, Tyler. First crooked number really going up against them in a while.
2-2 now the count here to Carter as he took 2 straight balls and then a called strike and now a swing and a miss. So 2-2 the count for the catcher, who is 4 for 7 in the series with a double and an RBI, 278 on the year. Back in on the right-hand side, the windup, the pitch, gets him swinging at a ball in the dirt. That'll be the first strikeout of the game for Lamson. And Spanish Fork seems to be rolling right now. Wasatch needs to get something going to break the momentum of the Dons. It'll be Gage Sheesh, who ended the game yesterday with a triple over the left fielder's head with the bases loaded that brought in 3 runs that then sealed the deal 10-0 for the Wasps. On deck will be Tad Sulcer, getting his first at-bat of the series. Lamson back into the windup, and he gets the outside corner for strike 1. All right, with pick number 4 for me, Ty, I need an outfielder as well. I'm kind of just mirroring you, and so I need an outfielder, and so I'm going to go with another 2022 grad. I'm going to go Peyton Swap with my number 4 pick.
Oh, man, I was licking my chops. I wanted Peyton too, Ty. He's got a lot of tools, power, speed, pretty good glove in the outfield. It's a good pick.
All right, so you got one more pick this inning. So right now my 4, Clint Kelson, Ryan Chadwick, Tad Baxter, and Peyton Swap. You have Jackson Bolander, Parker Sweat, and David Wade. 2 on the count here to Sheesh. The windup, the pitch. Upstairs for ball 3. 3-1 now the count.
Can I put my shameless plug? David, if you're listening, our Mirror Lake Station sponsor, just remember who had faith in you next time you're thinking about bringing some donuts down this way.
And that's going to be a base on balls. Wasatch with their second base runner of the day. Still no hits for Wasatch. They've been able to reach with a hit by pitch and now a base on balls. So that'll bring up Tad Sulcer, and then the top of the order. Tad Sulcer, 222 batting average in region play. Has 3 RBIs, all coming in that Springville series. Also had a double in that series as well, playing left field today. One of the seniors recognized yesterday. Wasatch holding their senior night a week early. It was a only varsity game, and so a little bit more time to enjoy the field and get the parents out there. Wasatch with today at home, and then they have one game next week at home against the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, who got a win yesterday over Salem Hills, giving Salem Hills their first Region 9 loss. That one's low for ball 1 here to Tad. Crew Erickson waiting on deck, flew out to right center field in his first at bat, currently on the mound for the Wasps. 1-0 the count here for Tad. And that one's going to bounce off the plate. Sheesh is going to have to scamper back to first base. Is back in time. 2-0 now the count, and that's going to bring another trip to the mound. Catchers have been a little bored, I think, in this series, Ty. They want to have a little bit more chats with their pitcher. That is the 5th trip to the mound by a catcher in this inning as Cal trots out to the mound. They must have heard that David Wade was the pick for you here in the 3rd inning, and they want to give him some recognition.
I think they can sense, Ty, both teams, that is, how big this game is. This is an important game for both these teams. Both down towards the bottom of the RPI standings to make it to the state tournament. They both need, in a bad way, a win here in this one.
2-0 the count here to Sulcer. The pitch. That one's in there for a strike. Moves the count to 2-1. Lamson comes set, working out of the stretch with a runner on first, 1 away. The 2-1. Swing and a miss from Sulcer. 2-2 now the count. Get some signs here from Coach Jacobson. It's a 2-2 count. Chett Wilson with a stolen base earlier today for the Wasps. 2-2 the count, 1 away. Lamson takes a second look at Sheesh, now a third. Now he'll kick and deliver the 2-2, and Sulcer does a good job of protecting the plate. Fouls that one onto the lacrosse field. Almost gets the 12U team, but everybody's safe over there, and we'll reset at 2-2. 12U team heading to Cooperstown this summer. Wasatch with a fun new tradition where they bring out some of their youth teams get the chance to run out there on the field. Sheesh with a good jump. It's a strike 3 to Tad, so strike 3 is the second out, but Sheesh is in there for the second Gravity Coalition stolen base of the day for the Wasps. Second strikeout of the inning for Lamson, who settled in nicely. Gubb wants to talk that one over. Solser swung and did go across the plate, but I don't think he made any contact. We'll see what the explanation is, or if Gubb gets what he desires. But it is a runner on second with the top of the order coming up for the Wasps. Gravity Coalition offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. And they're still discussing it. And I think I agree with Gubb, Ty, and I'm not sure if the catcher has to make contact with the hitter or not. I think that's probably what the argument is here between Gubb and the umpire. And now both umpires are going to discuss some things. And then if this is overturned by the field umpire, that's not very good technique. He should be having his eyes on the base runner.
Yeah, you're spot on, Ty. If somehow this gets overturned by the field umpire, it's just really bad because he should be looking at the runner at second base.
I think they're going to go ahead and call him safe. So runner on second when scoring position. Wasatch trying to get a run in. Now a discussion with the umpire and the pitcher. I think this is conspiracy, Ty. I think they know that you're on the clock, and they're just trying to prolong this inning.
Yeah, have you seen? I'm over here literally looking up stats on the history of Wasatch baseball, and it changed, Tyler. My next pick I was going to go to, and although it was an all-state player, his average was not nearly as high as I thought it was, and so I've kind of changed my mind. Taking a little extra time here on this one.
Well, yesterday's game, Ty, I believe, was over in under an hour and a half, and we're already on an hour and 7 minutes here in the bottom of the third. Crew Erickson now steps into the box, 3 for 5 in the series with a triple and 5 runs scored. Flew out to right center field. He's going to try to come out with a 2-out base hit to give Wasatch their first run of the game. Sheesh on second base with a good lead. The pitch lands it for a strike. That's an off-speed. Lamson's been able to locate the off-speed a little bit more as the game's gone on, making it tough for the Wasps. 0-1 the count with 2 away. Tragan Shaw in the on-deck circle. Lamson comes set, working out of the stretch with the runner on second. Takes a double look. The 0-1. Swung on. That's going to be roped to the left center field gap. They're not getting to that one. Gage comes in to score. It's another extra base hit for Crew. Pick him up, put him down. Is he going to try for 3? No, he's going to stop at second base. A 2-out double RBI for Crew Erickson, and Wasatch is on the board. That run brought to you by Physical at the Pit Stop.
An absolute shot from Crew Erickson, Tyler. That ball was a rope off the bat, right over the shortstop's head, hit deep in the outfield, went on a line nearly about probably 320 feet before it landed, and easily got to the fence. And it was such a shot that it made it a much easier read for the outfielders. They had nowhere to go but straight to the fence, and that cut down on Crew's chance to get a triple off of that because they were able to hustle to that ball. But a big hit and a big response for Wasatch to the 4-run inning from Spanish Fork.
Going to bring up Tragan Shaw. He popped out at the second baseman. He'll take strike 1. Still looking for his first hit of the series. Has had some productive at-bats, though, with 2 RBIs. Steps in on the left-hand side with Gutierrez on the on-deck circle. 0-1 the count. 2 away with runner in scoring position. Lamson takes a second look at Crew. Delivers. That one swung on, right on it, just not able to get the barrel, and that's now an 0-2 count as that one's fouled back to the backstop.
Yeah, you're right, Ty. Had that one timed up really well. Just missed it.
Ready to make your pick yet?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got my pick. You want me?
Yeah, let's go ahead with 2 outs.
Okay.
0-2 the count.
I need a shortstop, and that's where I'm going next is with shortstop, Ty. And so I'm going to take Guy Meekum, 2007, as my next pick.
Runner goes. It's a ground ball up the middle. It's going to get through. Crew rounds third, and Wasatch has 2 runs on the board as Tragan Shaw has his first hit of the series, and it'll bring in a run. 4-2 Wasatch 4-2 Wasatch trails in the bottom of the third.
That's a huge hit for Tragan, Tyler. Finally gets the monkey off his back. But I'll tell you what, that was That was a gutsy play for Crew to go with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Tragan. I think that made a little bit of a difference, Tyler. I think he got Will Dart's eyes at shortstop, flinching for just a minute, and that ball from Tragan was a slow hopper. It's probably getting through either way because it's right back up the middle, but Erickson took Dart's eyes off of the play for just a minute, and he got a terrible jump towards that ball, and it squirts its way through. Wasatch cuts the lead in half now, 4-2.
Good response inning for the Wasps. Even if they can't get any more, they made this still a ball game. It's going to bring up Alex Gutierrez, who grounded out to the shortstop. A great play from Will Dart as he dove and got up and threw the play out. This one's going to be roped to the 4-5 hole. Second baseman gets his glove on it, but he can't get to it. Another single. Wasatch, 3 straight hits with 2 outs. And they've now got runners on first and second with Chett Wilson coming up to the plate.
And it's your seniors, Tyler. The old Coach Scholl saying, your seniors have to carry you. You're only as good as your seniors can take you. And the seniors are stepping up for Wasatch here. Erickson, Shaw, Gutierrez with big hits. How about 2 more seniors sitting and waiting here? Chett Wilson in to hit right now, and Cole Zimmerman up next. Let's see if they can get the job done.
Good speed from Tragan at second base. Runners on first and second, 2 away. Misses upstairs to Chett. Chett got hit by pitch in his first at bat. He's 4 for 7 in the series. Tripled yesterday. And Spanish Fork is nervous. We're going to have a trip to the mound by the pitching coach from Spanish Fork.
Well, you should be nervous, Ty, because when you talk about all-time great players, Chett Wilson is a name that you're going to have to throw into the conversation. He's been playing for 3 years for Wasatch, starting since he was a sophomore. Hit over 400 as a sophomore. Last year follows it up close to 500 in a huge state tournament, helping Wasatch finish 5th in state, and this year he's had another great year, floating again around that 400 mark. Ty, Salt Lake Community College commit. This guy's one of the good ones for Wasatch that's up, and he's up in a big spot right here. 2 outs, down by 2, still only the 3rd inning here, Ty. Plenty of game left, but you got a couple runners on. This is where you need your big hits with runners in scoring position. And I think that's the thing you'd say most about Chett, Ty. When you look at the best hitters in the big league, your all-stars, almost across the board, their batting averages go up when there's runners on base. They lock in when they have runners in scoring position. Chett Wilson has been that guy for Wasatch, Tyler. When there's runners on, he's just a little bit better.
We're back at it. 1-0 the count here to Wilson. He gets a pitch but fouls it off. That'll move the count to 1-1. Cole Zimmerman on the on-deck circle. Just joining us, 4-2. Spanish scored 4 in the top half of the third. Wasatch has answered with 3 hits with 2 outs to push 2 across to cut the lead in half, still with runners on first and second with Chett Wilson in the box. 1-1 the count. A double look from Lamson. He delivers the 1-1. This one smoked to left field. Did he get enough of it? The left fielder floating back, makes the play, and Spanish Fork gets out of the inning. But Wasatch scores 2 on 3 hits, no errors. 2 runners are left on base. It's 4-2 as we go into the top half of the 4th.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the 4th inning, 4-2 Wasatch trailing Spanish Fork. 4th inning action brought to you by Country Garden and Nursery. And look outside, the sun is shining. We didn't know if it'd ever get here, Tyler, but it is time to start thinking about your garden and yard needs. And Country Gardens and Nursery has you covered. The only one-stop shop in Heber Valley for garden and yard services. Stop on by to Country Gardens and Nursery today.
Drew Erickson still on the mound for the Wasps. He'll be facing off against the top of the order, Avalanup, Argyle, and Dart. Off and up, flew out and walked, and he scored in the last inning. Crew's going to go fastball inside for ball one. If you're just joining us, we're doing the Wasatch High School baseball draft in honor of the NFL draft that's happening. Your first 8 picks: Jackson Bollender, Clint Kelson, Ryan Chadwick, Parker Sweat, David Wade, Tag Baxter, Peyton Swap, and Guy Meekum. Tyler's still on the clock for his 5th pick. That's going to be a foul ball down the line, 1-1.
Yeah,
talk to us a little bit about Guy.
Yeah, let's talk about Guy, and let's also tell a funny story. When we used to coach, you'd go to these coaching conventions, right? And one year we went, and they had a baseball historian. They came and talked, and I loved that, eating that up. And all you other coaches there were giving me a hard time because I just loved the history of baseball. None of you wanted to pay attention to that. And so now, Ty, while I've got the mic, I'm going to take a chance to tell you all the history of these baseball guys.
2-1 the count here, and I'll try to keep giving you just little updates. This one's going to be swung on to right center field. Tragan's going to go back to it. He's going to call off Burdette and make the play. 1 away here in the top of the 4th.
So Guy Meekum, this one's a personally funny story to me, Tyler. So we played for Wasatch from the 03 to 06 time period, and Guy Meekum graduated in 07, one of the better players. But when we were playing in 2004, you were the starting shortstop for Wasatch. And I played second base at the time. I was hoping to be the starter our junior year. There was a senior who you've also got on this list of Wasatch greats, and Brandon Willett, Tyler, that was graduating. I was thinking I was going to play second the next 2 years. That was at least what my brain was saying, and you know how kids sometimes don't know what's going on. But I thought I had a pretty decent chance to do that. Summer ball rolls around. Had ball 1 to start there, Tyler. Got another ball.
Ball 1. This one's going to be elevated high behind second base. Bucad's going to call everybody off, and he'll make the grab. 2 away here in the top of the 4th.
Nice job from Crew to come in and get quick outs here, Tyler. You got the response. You got 2 runs there in the bottom of the 3rd. Come out and get 3 quick ones, and you're right back in this thing. But I guess I better speed up the story here, Tyler. So in summer ball, you kind of have those unofficial tryouts, right? You're playing, you're seeing how guys are. Guy Meekum, a sophomore, came up and played with the varsity team with Coach Scholl, and I was playing, and we were kind of trying out for that second base spot. He was a middle infielder.
Strike 1 here to Dart, who singled and had an RBI in his last at-bat.
And I thought I had a pretty darn good summer, over 400 in the summer, but when you looked at the stats, Guy Meekum hit 800 that summer. 800. And it was a lot of games, Tyler, a lot of games. That was not like 5 or 6 games. It was like 30-plus games over the summer, and he hit 800. And I remember going to Coach Scholl saying, so what other positions can I play? You know, like clearly this is not going to be somewhere I can play for the rest of my high school career. And then I shifted over to the catcher position, which I had played a little bit before that as well, Ty. But Guy was good. And you and I both have that experience because he took second base when I thought I'd get that. And by the next year, your senior year, he had displaced you at shortstop. You moved over to second base. And Guy ended up getting a Division I scholarship to go play shortstop as well. So really good player for Wasatch.
2-1 is going to be elevated to right field, and Wasatch gets their first 1-2-3 physical at the pit stop goose egg inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. It's 4-2 as we go into the bottom of the 4th.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
A UCCU home equity line of credit puts your home's equity to work for you. Finish your basement or yard and raise your home's value. Pay off higher interest, help with college or weddings. It's peace of mind knowing that you have a low-rate line of credit ready for whatever, whenever. UCCU will also provide you with a home equity Visa card, giving you instant access to your equity. Learn more or start your application today at uccu.com or stop by any branch. UCCU. Love where you bank.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Bottom of the 4th brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. Zimmerman, Bucad, Carter is who will lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Wasps. Lamson still on the mound. Wasatch trailing 4-2 after giving up 4 in the top half of the 3rd. Wasatch answered with 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. Zimmerman takes strike 1 and now ball 1.
Well, Ty, I like that guy making pick. It was too bad Guy didn't get a chance. He went down to SUU when they were still Division I. But they discontinued their program a couple years later. Really good player, though, Ty, for Wasatch.
2-1 the count now to Zimmerman. You ready for your next pick?
I'm having a hard time deciding, Ty, but I think I've got to shore up the middle. So I've got a catcher, a pitcher, shortstop, center fielder, and so I think I'm going to go to second base, and that's probably where I'm going to pick next year. 3-1. See if Cole can lead this one off.
The 3-1. And that one's going to be a base knock through the 3-4 hole. Kind of a slow roller, but it gets through, and that's a single for Cole Zimmerman, his second hit of the series.
That's the perfect time for me to make my pick, Ty. Second base, I'm going to take you, and I know you won't.
Are you really going to take me?
I am, and I know you're not going to give yourself enough credit here, and you just won't talk about yourself. I'm going to take a minute to do it as well, Tyler. You started for Wasatch for 3 years, 2 at shortstop, then moved to second base. And your senior year, you didn't make a single error, a perfect fielding percentage at second base, and you hit .530 on the season. You set a state record. By the time you left high school, you were the all-time leader in the state of Utah in hits. Now, your senior year, the funny part of that is
all-time leader in singles.
In singles, yeah, in singles.
Don't give me too much credit there.
and that's that's why I bring it up. The 3-4 hole you owned, Tyler, with speed. You had speed. You could field it. You got a guy who's an all-time hit leader, a record holder. I think the narrative fits here pretty well, Tyler, and I know it'll embarrass you to say that, but I feel pretty good about a shortstop who hit .470 and played D1. I feel pretty good about a second baseman that didn't make a single error and hit almost .550 his senior year. I like that middle infield a lot here for Wasatch. That's probably where I'm going to go. I will tell you, I had some other plays that came to mind. Junior year Carson Law is the best second baseman I've seen at Wasatch. He just had such a down senior year, and he'll tell you, too, he hit, I think, only around 200, and he was coming off an injury. It was a problem, Ty. But if you had the junior year Carson Law repeat senior year, he's one of the all-time greats at Wasatch for sure there. So those were a couple of second baseman names, but I'm going to take yourself.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Don't think it's deserving, but you're number 5. Well, I like it, actually, because I think that's a pretty weak sauce pick at number 5. And so
that's a great leadoff hitter, I feel like.
Wasatch is going to go ahead and pause for a moment as Spanish is going to go ahead and make their first pitching change of the game. They're going to go with number 8, Ethan Dorr, making his first appearance. He's 15 and a third innings pitched on the year with a 5.93 ERA. He's played first base every inning of this series. He'll be pitching from the right-hand side. Wasatch with a runner on first with Carter Bucad and Landon Carter on deck and in the hole. The pitching change brought to you by Tony's Tacos, best tacos in town. Stop on into their location on on Main Street. And then they've been in business since 2001. Carter will step up to the plate. He had a barrel off of Lamson's hip, the pitcher, in his first at-bat, ground out to the pitcher. He's 2 for 7 in the series. We'll see what Coach Jacobson decides to do with a runner on base and nobody out. And what do we got rolling on? Still more conversation happening between the pitching coach now of Spanish Fork and Dorr. Give me some time to make my next pick, Ty, and I think I've settled on it. I'm going to go with the shortstop as well. I'm going to go Brock Carlson as my starting shortstop.
Really, really good
Graduated
player.
in 2009 as a freshman. Played with us and actually earned a spot in the lineup as a freshman. So a 4-year starter for Wasatch. As a designated hitter as a freshman, and then played second base his sophomore year with Guy Meekum playing shortstop as a senior, and then he moved over and played shortstop his junior and senior year.
Isn't there a funny narrative, Tyler, with those teams and Coach Scholl specifically, that people used to say Coach Scholl didn't play anyone but seniors?
Yeah.
And all these teams you're talking about, underclassmen, all-staters, right? Whether it's Parker Sweaters, a sophomore, yourself, Brock Carlson, a freshman playing for Coach Scholl. So, yeah, he was really good. Not a lot of guys can say they started for all 4 years for Wasatch, but Brock did.
It's going to bring up Carter Bucad with a runner on first. Nobody away. Dorr on the mound. They'll come set, takes a peek at Zimmerman, delivers. Bucad's going to lay down the bunt. It's down the first base side. Stay fair. No, it's great play from Cal Nelson, who dives as it's going foul. And, Ty, that reminds me, did you see the video of the minor league game this week where bases are loaded or runners on first and second, something of that nature, fly ball to right field. Runner tags at third. The right fielder throws it home. Not in time. Runner at second base advances to third. Well, the catcher, he gets away from the catcher, and the ball stops on the chalk line, and the catcher can't find it. He has no idea where the ball is. The runner, even though it's 6 feet,
about,
6 feet away, and the runner from third ends up scoring because the catcher can't find the baseball, and he never did. The first baseman had to come in and make the play. Pickoff move is going to get away from the first baseman. Zimmerman will advance to second. Is he going to go to third? He's going to try to go from first to third. The throw, not in time, and the error by the pitcher on the overthrow puts Wasatch in action with a runner on third base and nobody out.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. If Wasatch can just keep chipping away here, Tyler, you're only down by 2. You get a run here. You really put some pressure on Spanish. We talked about it again in the Dairy King pregame show. These guys are spent pitching-wise. They've used most of their pitching. This is 3 straight days for this series, and Wasatch should be able to keep chasing after these pitchers.
Off-speed pitch off the corner. It gets the corner for strike 2. 0-2 the count now for Bucad. He's been good in region play, one of the best hitters in region play for the Wasps. 0-2 the count. Door sets, delivers. Off-speed pitch, freezes him for strike 3. That's not what you wanted with a runner on third with nobody out. But that is going to be the third strikeout of the day. That one looking, and that'll bring up now Landon Carter, who struck out himself in his first at-bat.
Yeah, Spanish is giving you a run type. Middle infield back deep. Even your corners are back deep. They're surrendering this run. They're telling you on contact you can go by where their corners are playing. The only thing that hurts you here is a fly ball in the infield or a strikeout. Just got to get him play.
And that's what he's going with, Ty. Just off-speed pitches that are freezing the Wasps. That's another one there for strike 1. Carter's been good in the series as well. 4 for 8, hitting .500 in the series. Fastball way behind that one. That's going to be 0-2.
You just got to find a way to get it done if you're landing here. Whatever it takes, you got to get this ball in play.
Gage Sheesh on deck. He walked and scored last inning. 0-2 the count. The pitch. Gets a deep ball to center field. That should be deep enough. It's pushing the center fielder back. It's going to get him, Ty. It got him. Carter with his second double of the series. And Wasatch is now down just 1. 4-3 the score on the 2-strike double from Landon Carter.
Oh, that's excellent baseball, Tyler, because he clearly took something off that swing, and he still drove that ball to the base of the fence. Nice, short, compact swing, not trying to do too much. He understood the role there, Tyler. He needed to get the ball in play, try to get something elevated to the outfield, and he burned the center fielder on that. What a big-time clutch hit from the sophomore, Landon Carter.
5 for 9 in the series. He's having himself a great series, kind of a coming out for the sophomore. It's going to bring up Gage Sheesh, who walked in his first at-bat. Check swing, strike 1. With Bo Jones, who comes in as the speed-up runner.
Gage had the clutch hit yesterday, Tyler, the walk-off triple with the bases loaded that won it for Wasatch on the mercy rule against Spanish.
Ashton Gurney now on the on-deck circle. Looks like he's going to be pinch hitting for Tad Solser. 1-1 now. The count is that ball's in the dirt. And again, Cal Nelson is doing a great job of smothering everything behind the dish. Remind me, Ty, I don't think there's been a pass ball this series for the Dons.
Yeah, off the top of my head, it's hard to think of any that have been meaningful if they have gotten by.
1-1 the count here with Jones on second base. Sheesh in the box. Doer takes a peek, delivers. Another check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Another check swing strike, and that moves the count to 1-2.
Wasatch climbing back in this one. They were down 4-0. Got the lead down to 4-3 here, Tyler. Bottom of the 4th inning if you're just joining us.
1-2. It's going to be a ground ball to Dart. Jones is going to stay at second base. Dart fields it, throws it across the diamond in time. So now 2 away with the runner on second. And I think we're going to go Tad Solser will end up hitting with 2 away.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why, this is understandable here, Ty. Gurney is a hot bat, a big bat, and if you spend him here, he's burned for the game. And so you want to pick a spot to make sure you get him in at the optimal situation. Now, you could say this is the optimal situation, runner in scoring position that could tie this one up, Ty.
Good jump there from Bo Jones on the ball in the dirt, and he'll advance to third base. So 1-0 the count to Solser, and now a runner on third.
I just think, though, I agree with Coach Jacobson here pulling Gurney out for the moment because you want to have him available in 5th, 6th, 7th innings, depending on the situation that comes up. Because as good as Landon Carter's been, Tyler, and he has been one of the hottest bats here this series, Ashton Gurney's been right there with him as one of the most reliable bats. A real weapon for Wasatch to bring in later in this game when they need a hit.
2-0 the count as another ball in the dirt. Another good job there from Nelson. Swing and a miss from Tad on the third pitch of the at-bat. Moves the count to 3-1. 2-1 the count, 2 away with a runner on third. Wasatch down by 1. It's a ground ball through the 5-6 hole, and Tad Sulcer, the senior, comes up with another huge region hit. He's now got 4 RBIs in region play, and Wasatch has tied the ball game up at 4-4.
Yeah, and maybe, Tyler, it was just the gut hunch from Coach Jacobson, too. I know coaches get those every once in a while of, no, I just feel like this guy's got it. And Tad said, hey, Coach, you don't need to think about pinch hitting here. I got this covered. Comes up with the big hit to tie it back up.
4-4 the score. Wasatch gave up 4 in the top of the third, but they get 2 in the bottom of the third and 2 in the bottom of the fourth, and we're back to a tie ball game.
That left center gap still wide open for Crew. Ty, left fielder
creeping over there. It's going to go drag bunt to Crew. Crew's going to try to get another single on the board. He's not going to be in time. And now, what are you doing, Tad? Nobody's there. Not sure what was going on.
He was trying to do a heads-up play, Tyler, rounding second and looking. Coach Jacobson's patting his chest. Coach Jacobson must have told him to come, not seeing that the shortstop had wheeled over to cover. So Tad had just put his head down and was barreling, and Wasatch unfortunately misses that opportunity. They would have had runners on second and first. But it looks like we had a miscommunication there.
2 runs in on 4 hits, 1 error by the Dons in the inning. It's 4-4 as we go into the 5th.
Napa know-how.
Your local Napa Auto Parts, Wasatch Auto Parts at 105 North Main Street in Heber City. Stocks auto parts, tools and equipment, and many other items for heavy-duty trucks, marine, and farming equipment. Stop in today at Wasatch Auto Parts, 105 North Main Street in Heber City, a proud sponsor of Wasatch Wasps Sports.
Napa know-how.
Dan Sluga at Wasatch Back Flooring is extending his services to include quality paint products to complete your home remodeling needs. Locally owned and operated, Dan and his team can help you find the right flooring for your home with quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Target, Godfrey Hirst, and many more. Since 2009, they've been exceeding their customers' needs by helping them select flooring that fits both their lifestyle and budget. They've got you covered at Wasatch Back Flooring and Paints.
This is live coverage of Wasatch High School sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Fifth inning action brought to you by the Guild Mortgage. Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage. Let his team help you find the perfect mortgage that fits your situation. It will be painless and easy. Strike 1 to Riley Lamson, who comes up to the plate. He reached on an error and scored in his last at bat. Another swing and a miss. Moves the count to 0-2. Wasatch 4, Spanish Fork 4. Spanish Fork scoring 4 in the top of the third. Wasatch scoring 2 in the bottom of the third and 2 in the bottom of the fourth. The 0-2 count goes with the fastball. It's a high chopper up the middle. Bucad fields it clean, throws it to Zimmerman for the first out of the inning.
Ty, this Wasatch team is really tough. They've got a lot of experience over the years playing together. Most of these guys have started for at least 2 years, if not 3, out here on the field. But I think there was a really big moment in this game. In the top of the third, Wasatch thought they had a double play ball that didn't get called. I was as emotional as anyone over that thing. Coach Jacobson specifically did not come out. He seemed to stay pretty calm, pretty poised in the dugout. The team reflected that calmness, and they've responded here, Tyler. They've responded, tied it back up 4-4. They haven't gotten too rattled or too emotional.
Ground ball to the third baseman, Wilson. Fields with the backhand, makes the play. What a play by the senior Chett Wilson. And Wasatch has 2 away here in the top of the 5th.
Wow, you'll be hard-pressed to find a better play than that, Tyler. Backhand ball deep, pulling you away from the first base bag. Wilson was able to secure it in the glove, plant the foot, turn and fire. He was beyond the foul line by the time he stopped and threw a laser over there, Tyler. About 130 feet that he's having to throw that ball and put it on a rope. What a play.
It's going to bring up the designated hitter, Caleb Robinson. He's reached in both of his at-bats, singled in the first and had a hit by pitch in his second at-bat. He's going to swing at the second pitch here, going to swing and foul that one off. That'll move the count to 1-1. Crew goes back. This one's going to be rope. Wasatch isn't going to be able to get to this one. It'll be a single to the left center field gap. Tragan does a great job of cutting that one off. So a 2-out single for Spanish Fork. And with 2 away, Spanish Fork trying to produce some runs with 2 outs. That'll bring up the third baseman, Britt Nelson. Flied out to center field and had a fielder's choice ground out in his second at bat. 0 for 2 today and 2 for 6 in the series. And that's going to be strike 1 to Britt Nelson. I think I still am on the clock, right, if we're doing our snake draft, and I think we're a little bit behind.
Well, you took Brock last, right?
Brock.
Yeah.
That one's going to bounce. Carter does a good job of smothering it. The runner's going to go, though, and he's in time. Good read there from Robertson. Robertson having himself a nice day. 2 for 2, a hit by pitch, now a stolen base. And he's now in scoring position, and Spanish Fork threatening to retake the lead with 2 away.
Last time Nielsen was that ground ball, Tyler, to Gutierrez. Wasatch thought they had a double play on. Likes to try to pull the ball, see if they can get another ground ball here.
1-1, elevated foul. Keith moves the count to 1-2. Got a couple. I'm trying to think if I want to go follow your lead, Ty, and go middle infield or go to one of the corners, actually, is where I'm deciding. 1-2 the count, 2 away. Crew takes a second look, and I think they're going to reward the hitter a timeout.
Ty, kind of been having fun with this. So we've drafted 10 players. Yeah. And it's interesting looking at the years across the board, all the way back to 89 and all the way as recent as 22, right? Got a couple guys from last year's team, 22.
Ground ball up the middle. It's going to bounce off the bag.
Oh,
Bucad gets it and throws him out at first. What a play from Carter Bucad. The infield showing it off here in the top of the 5th. Wasatch gets out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner is left on base. We'll keep it here for the 5th inning stretch, but that is a couple of a good spa day plays of the game nominee. That play up the middle by Bucad and Chett Wilson with the backhand.
Yeah, and I have to apologize, Tyler, for jumping on your call there. That ball was going back up the middle, looked like it was going to get through, and in my mind I'm thinking you just got to keep it in front. It doesn't matter what happens. Body's got to get on that ball. You don't have to get the guy out at first, because you can keep that run from scoring at second. Well, the ball hit second base, literally, and hopped up. Bucad was behind, ready to field it, and the ball hopped quickly on him. And Bucad just has such quick, reactive hands that he was not only able to keep it in front, but secure it completely, and then throw a laser over there to get the runner out, running down there to first base. Really, really, really nice play from Carter Bucad.
Okay, Ty, I'm going to go ahead and make my pick, and it might be some recency bias here, but I'm going to go ahead and take my third baseman, and I'm going to go Chett Wilson. With
I wanted Chett badly. That one, you're lucky you took him now, because he was coming home to me if I had a little bit more time, Tyler. Chett's been so good over the years.
Ty, let's take a pause real quick. Let's go ahead and jump into the Gordon Law Group 5th inning stretch scoring recap, and I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, Ty, so this game's been pretty fun here. It started out with a couple really good pitching innings, zeros across the board in the first and the second inning. Blake Sweat got the start and was able to have a couple good shutdown innings, but in the 4th, Wasatch got into some trouble with some walks. The 3rd, in the top of the 3rd, they gave up 4 runs, most of those runs coming off of walks, 5 walks in the inning, and Wasatch only gave up 4 runs.
Tragan Shaw's going to swing at the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be a hard ground ball to the first baseman, who fields it cleanly and steps on the bag. That's Bryson Shipman, who's over at first base. Makes a nice play.
Wasatch punched back, though, Tyler. In the bottom of the 2nd, they scored 2 runs. Then they shut down Spanish, 1-2-3 inning next in the top of the 4th. That was a really important sequence. Then to the bottom of the 4th, they got 2 more to tie it up, 4-4. And then, as you just heard there in the top of the 5th, they hold Spanish scoreless, another 0 on the board.
2 pitches, 2 outs. This is going to be a ground ball to the second baseman, who throws it over to the bag. So 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th, and there's 2 away for the Wasps.
And to finish my thought before this inning ends here, Tyler, Wasatch and Spanish are tied. 4-4 our current score. Got a couple innings left here. Wasatch has 7 outs left to go. Spanish down to 6. Wasatch already 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
It's going to bring up Chett Wilson. He is 0 for 1. He flew out on a deep fly ball back to the warning track in his last at-bat and was hit by pitch in his first. He'll take strike 1, 0-1 the count. Ethan Dorr still on the mound. The pitch He's going to go with the drag bunt with 2 away, and it's a nice one, Ty. And Wasatch with a 2-out single to extend the inning.
I love it, Ty.
They're going to call him out, Ty. They said that Chett was out of the box when he laid down the bunt, and they're going to go ahead and call him out. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Dons.
Must have had the front foot outside of the box, Tyler, is where the umpire was pointing. It wasn't that he was pulling out of the box towards first too quickly. It was that front foot came up too early.
No runs, no hits, no errors. Wasatch goes down in order. It's 4-4 as we go into the 6th.
Timberline Ace Hardware is your full-line Benjamin Moore paint store. Visit them for your home projects, business-to-business, and contractor needs. And remember to ask about their delivery services. And they're looking for some cashiers. Apply today. And get your Carhartt wear, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans. Timberline Ace Hardware, located west of the Wasatch Wasps football stadium at 737 South Main Street, serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years.
Hi, I'm Stacy McKay, branch manager at Bank of Utah. Everyone here at Bank of Utah believes that we are an extension of our community. Not only do we craft banking solutions to help families and businesses in our area, we boost the community by proudly supporting local organizations like Wasatch High School. Because when our communities thrive, we all thrive. Come see me at our Heber branch and experience community banking at its best. Bank of Utah is an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Peak.
Top of the 6th, brought to you by Gucci Goo Barbecue. From the words of their customers, this barbecue is super good. You'll definitely eat more than you should have, but you'll be back for more later. Gucci Goo Barbecue, now in their new location on Main Street, right next to the Auto Spa Car Wash. It's 4-4 as we go into the top of the 6th. Both relief pitchers have settled down and really thrown nicely. Crew Erickson with back-to-back scoreless innings for the Wasps. Foul ball, and now a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count to Walker Evans. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Dons. Walker Evans, Cal Nilsson, and Ian Ablanov. Ty, you're up for 2 picks. Your 6th and 7th pick in our Wasatch High School baseball draft. Tries to go fastball upstairs, misses. 1-2 now the count.
Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted over here, Tyler. I was dead set I was getting Chett at third base. I needed Chett. You've devastated my draft.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the game for Crew Erickson. Brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, your rehabilitation specialist. Let Dan Ivey and his team get you back to 100%.
But I do think I'm ready probably to make my pick here, Tyler. And this is a multi-tool guy that I'm going to be going with. He's going to be able to play third base for me. He may not catch it with his glove, but he's going to put a body in front of it. And I'm going to take McCord Larson, Tyler, one of the best pitchers that's come through Wasatch. Graduated, what was it, 15, 16? I think it was 15
right
when
here.
he graduated.
So McCord Larson was 15.
And just really, really good pitcher, Tyler, for the Wasps.
2-0 the count here to Cal Nilsson.
But I'm going to put him down there at third base as well. He could hit, but he could also pitch.
Takes a little bit off that one, lands the strike, moves the count to 2-1 to Cal Nilsson, who's 0 for 2 today, 1 for 5 in the series. The 2-1 gets the outside corner for strike 2. 2-2 now the count with the top of the order on deck. Crew back into the windup, delivers the 2-2. It's going to be a ground ball to the 5-6 hole. Chett fields it cleanly, throws it across the diamond, 2 away here in the top of the 6th.
Man, I would love to have that guy on my draft team, Tyler. Chett locking it down at third base today, doing a really good job. In fact, if you think this week, the games earlier on, it was the right side of the infield, right? Second base was really, really good between Zimmerman, Gutierrez. Today, a lot more action coming over to the left side, and Wilson and Bucad have been tough as nails over there, Tyler, playing at a really high level today.
Crew back working out of the windup, and Spanish taking a little page out of Wasatch's playbook. Ablanap squares to lay down a bunt, but it goes at his head. He'll duck underneath it for ball 1. Goes back inside, misses again for ball 2. 2-0 the count with 2 away here in the top of the 6th.
Crew plenty good on pitching, Tyler, still under 50 pitches. with only 1+ innings left here. Needs to get 4 outs.
Swing and a miss. Big swing from Ablanap. He tried to go after that 2-0. Misses it. 2-1 now the count. Gage has been getting loose in the bullpen. Looks like that's where Wasatch will go if Crew can't finish this one out. 4-4, top of the 6th. Wasatch trying to sweep Spanish Fork. Misses high for ball 2.
Ty, I'm probably ready to make my next pick here when we get a chance. There's some really... I'm tempted to go outfield, and I want an outfielder next. Got a ball there, Tyler. Move it to 3-1. Excuse me, that was ball 4 on that. But because there are so many good outfielders available, I'm not necessarily taking the best player available, Tyler. I'm trying to fill out my team, so I kind of preface that because there's some really good outfielders that are still available. But I'm going to finish my infield. I'm going to take a first baseman, and that's going to be Noah Turley, who I'm going to have over at first base. I don't think that's a bad pick, Tyler, to be number 13. You're a kid playing in the Big 12 right now for Oklahoma State.
Pitch is going to be elevated. Could this stay in play? Wilson goes over in foul territory, makes the play, and there's now 3 away. And Wasatch gets out of the 6th with no runs on no hits, no errors. 1 runner is left on base. 4-4 as we go into the bottom of the 6th.
Well, folks, spring is near, but have no fear. Country Gardens and Nursery is here for your everyday garden supplies, decor, and more. From our personal gardener to our new bulk yard, where we offer large variety of soil, mulches, and decorative rock. Come see what we have in store. Country Gardens and Nursery, 1401 South, US 189. We'll see you soon and hope to put you in bloom.
Are you ready for lunch? The Dairy King, home of the train, is serving the best food with friends and family in the Valley, and they're the winner of Best of State for 18 years. They've recently been officially named Best of Utah for their milkshakes, and you've just got to try their delicious train burger with an Oreo shake. They also have those yummy salads that just hit the spot. They've been proudly serving the Heber Valley for 75 years. That's the Dairy King, home of the train, serving deliciousness daily. So stop in today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. KTMP Heber City and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Bottom of the 6th.
Ty, this one brought to you by Physical at the Fit Stop, your locally owned and operated physical therapy clinic, serving you from head to toe, including vertigo to sports injuries, serving the Heber Valley for over 40 years.
Cole Zimmerman, Carter Bucad, Landon Carter will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 4-4. We've got a good one. Wasatch has dominated the series, but we've got a good one here today in Game 3. Wasatch trying to complete the sweep against Spanish Fork. Pretty sure this would be the first sweep of the Dons that Wasatch has had in its history. It'll be 5-6-7 for the Wasps. Ball 1, strike 1 here to Zimmerman, who singled through the 3-4 hole and scored in his last at bat. He's now 2-for-9 in the series. The 1-1, nice off speed, gets the outside corner on the backdoor curveball. 1-2 now the count. Door's been good, Ty, as he's come in to stop the bleeding for the Dons. 1-2, misses too far outside that time. Now 2-2 to count. Just joining us, we're doing the Wasatch High School baseball draft as well. With the NFL draft going on, we thought it'd be fun to draft some Wasatch greats. Currently sitting at 7 for Tyler and 6 players for me. I'm on the clock. 2-2 now the count to Cole.
Yeah, Ty, and I
3-2 to count. Sorry, that filled up the count at 3-2.
I had the steal of the draft just recently.
Yeah, I think you did. And he's going to miss. So a leadoff walk here as Zimmerman reaches base for the second time today. Yeah, a little surprised he lasted as long as he did.
I took a 2020 COVID player, Tyler, but this kid, phenomenal. Noah Turley. He's currently playing at Oklahoma State. He played last year at Arizona, was an All-American at Yavapai. And his senior year, Tyler, he was hitting 625. 625. He was on pace for over 40 hits. COVID, of course, shut that season down early, unfortunately. But one of the best hitters. He was automatic, Tyler. You knew when he was getting up against underwhelming pitching that the ball was leaving the yard. He could hit it out on any part of the field. Just one of the most special hitters that has ever come through Wasatch, hands down. And he's going to be my first baseman over there. And he's going to hit a lot of bombs for me playing against your team.
Strike 1 to Bucad. He'll step out of the box. Third baseman playing way in, Ty, for the Dons, trying to take away the double play threat. try to take away the bunt threat. Zimmerman, a good lead at first base. He'll take another half step with Dorr coming set. It's a slash and go. Bucad swings through it. Zimmerman goes on the throw, and he's going to be thrown out at second base. It was an execution by the Dons, Ty. They ran with a pitch out. Bucad couldn't get a piece of it on the slash and run, and now one away, and an 0-2 count here to Bucad. Just good execution by Spanish Fork, Ty. They recognized Wasatch had something on, went with the pitch out, and a good throw from Nilsson. The 0-2 misses for ball one. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, that one hurts. That's good coaching, Tyler. Spanish knew Wasatch wanted to bunt. I think if that third baseman is not that close, Wasatch lays that bunt down.
Another strikeout, and now 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
So it really was cat and mouse there, wasn't it? Spanish says, we know you want to bunt. We're going to come up. So Wasatch says, well, we can beat you then with a slash and run. And Spanish says, well, we know that's an option, so instead we're going to go pitch out and see if we can catch your guy moving. That was some real interesting coaching back and forth there on that scenario.
Strike one here to Landon Carter. Moves the count to 0-1 with 2 away. Carter doubled an RBI in his last at-bat, struck out in his first. He's now 5 for 9 in the series. Swing and a miss on a pitch on the outside. I'm going to go ahead and make my 7th pick, and I'm going to go another 06 outfielder, Will Pollock.
I wanted Will. It's another 500-plus batting average, Tyler, for Wasatch. A lot of people may not know about him because Will just didn't care to play in college. He did have an invited walk-on at BYU, and he just turned it down.
0-2 is going to be a ground ball to Dart at short. He'll field it cleanly, throw it across the diamond, and Wasatch is retired for the second straight time. 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's a tie ball game as we go into the 7th. It's a good one. Stay with us here on 94.5 The Peak.
The 50s produced some great sound. That early rock and roll triggered so much emotion for so many. Here's another sound from that era. The dental grill triggers a whole different set of emotions. The sounds, the smells, feeling out of control, whatever keeps you from the dentist at Dorius Dental, we get it. We focus on the little things. Distract yourself with your favorite episode of The Office, or crank up the 80s or 90s and let it take you back to another time. At Dorius Dental, we are sensitive to your needs. We are taking care of the little things so you can move on to more enjoyable things. Located in Gateway Plaza, Heber City.
Gucci Goo Barbecue in Heber Valley is a premier barbecue restaurant. You can choose from finger-licking ribs, poppin' andouille sausage, tasty chicken, tender brisket, delicious pork, and yummy street tacos. Friday night dates, take that significant other for the smoked prime rib that melts in your mouth. Family-friendly atmosphere where everyone is welcome, quick service for dine-in or takeout, great quality food, and great value for your money. That's Gucci Goo in Midway on Main Street.
5, 4, 3, 2.
KTMP Heber City and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
Top of the 7th, brought to you by Mirror Lake Station, best donuts in Utah. Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. Owners David and Kristen Wade invite you to swing by and say hello this season at Mirror Lake Station. 4-4 as we go in here to the top of the 7th inning. Crew Erickson has been good on the mound for the Wasps, and so has Ethan Dorr as they've been able to slow down the offenses. Wasatch's offense has been good. 11 runs in the first game, 10 runs in the second, 4 runs today coming in the third and the fourth. Spanish Fork scores 4 in the top of the third, and that's where we stand now, 4-4. It's going to be Will Dart to lead it off, so 3-4-5 up for the Dons. Swing and a miss, strike one here to Dart.
Yeah, you got to be careful here. Will Dart has not been effective against Wasatch. 4 for 22 over 3 years, but he's got the power and pop to change all that in one swing, and he tried to there, Tyler. He was opening up, trying to pull that ball over the left field fence.
Ty, with my number 8 pick, so 1-1 the count now. With my number 8 pick, I'm actually going to fill up my outfield, and I'm going to go with another 2020 player, a COVID player, and I'm going to go Zach Webster,
I wanted Zach.
Get me a lefty on the mound as well.
I wanted Zach. He shouldn't have lasted this long, Tyler. Zach's good enough.
Another strike here, moves the count to 1-2.
That was my next pick, so you're lucky you went with Webby there.
1-2 the count here to Dart.
Webby, another name that deserves more credit than he's going to get because that COVID year shut it down, Tyler. 3-year starter on the mound for Wasatch. High 80s from the left side when he was done. He went down to Mesa College to pitch before serving a mission. Currently out in Anaheim right now, still on his mission. Really good one for Wasatch.
1-2 after the foul ball. Goes back to the fastball.
Yes,
Ring him up.
got him.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. Dart goes down looking. Second Wasatch Physical Therapy strikeout of the game for Crew Erickson.
Make that 4 for 23 in his career, Tyler. This kid, when you shush the dugout, I'm just gonna keep highlighting what the numbers are saying.
It's going to bring up Riley Lamson. Reached on an error and scored in his second at bat. Struck out in his first at bat and ground out to the shortstop in his last at bat. He'll take ball 1. Lamson and then Dorr up next for the Dons. 4-4 the score. Off speed in there for strike 1. 1-1 now the count. So Ty, back over to you. We're going to try to make 10 picks apiece. So you're on numbers 8 and 9, and I've got 9 and 10 left on my side. 1-1 the count with 1 away. Goes back to the off speed. It's elevated to shallow right field. This is going to be a tough play if it's fair. Zach Burnett coming up, can't make it, and it is fair. Lamson is going to stop at first base. A bloop single, and Spanish Fork has a base runner.
It's one of those balls where the ball just has eyes, Tyler. It doesn't have any business being a hit, but it's finding the place it can go to fall down. Great hustle. That's actually Sulcer over there in right field,
Sulcer
Tyler.
move over to the
Great
right.
hustle from Sulcer to track that ball down and get it in quickly and keep that to a single only. Going to have a pinch runner coming in.
Bryson Shipman in the box. Oh, no. This is Ethan Dorr. And then the pinch runner, did you see what number, Ty?
13.
13. Nathan Peterson.
And who's hitting here, Ty?
No, it's still Ethan Dorr.
Okay.
High and inside for ball 1 here to Dorr. So the leading run on first base right now for the Dons after the bloop single over the first baseman is heading in front of the right fielder. Crew has been really good on the mound coming in relief. 1-0 the count. The pitch misses low for ball 1. 2-0, or excuse me, for ball 2. 2-0 now the count.
See if Crew can elicit a double play ball here, Ty. Nice little ground ball.
Lazy
up the middle.
Lazy pickoff move. Runner able to get back easily. Crew comes set. The 2-0. Does he get the strike? Does get the strike. Was a little bit elevated. 2-1 now the count.
Well, Ty, I'm ready to fill out the rest of my defense here. I got my next 2 picks. I'm going to take Chase Adams next. Really good player from the 15 team, Tyler. Great pitcher. Really good center fielder. I'll be playing him out there in left field. Maybe right field is where I put Chase because Sweat's going to man down center.
2-1 the count. That one's going to be fouled behind us. Now 2-2 the count.
So, yeah, I'll probably put Adams in right field. And then my left fielder is going to be Brennan Hallows. And Brennan Hallows was a Division I level pitcher, Tyler. So that's one of those like Zach Webster pitches that, yeah, Hallows can play the outfield.
Runner goes on the 2-2, and I think they called a balk, Ty, is there's going to be no pitch as the runner elevates it to right field, or excuse me, to center field. Tragan makes the play, and they're going to call a balk. So no pitch, 2-2 the count. They're saying Crew did not pause. So a couple of tough plays there from Wasatch. And so it's going to be a runner on second, 1 away, 2-2 the count to Dorr. Didn't pause is what they're calling. So it's going to be 2-2 still the count. Bach moves the runner to second base. So the leading run now at second.
It's a tough call in that situation. Rather than 2 outs, runner at first, 1 out, runner at second base. That's a huge swing here. See what Crew can do to lock this one down.
Working out of the stretch with the leading run on second base. 2-2 the count, 1 away. The pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to the 5-6 hole. Carter Bucad makes the play. He's not going to be able to get the out, but keeps the runner at third base. So it'll be runners on the corners. Good job from Carter Bucad of keeping the ball in the infield. So the leading run now at third, and now runners on the corners after the infield single. It's going to bring up number 23, Caleb Robertson, the DH, and he's been good, Ty. 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and was hit by pitch. So he's reached base all 3 times. Wasatch will stay with an up-the-middle double play depth, I'm assuming, and Coach Jacobson wants to talk it over. He's going to come out to the mound. Trip to the mound brought to you by Mirror Lake Station. Best donuts in Utah. Mirror Lake Station is your stop for gas, groceries, and goodies. Ty, recap your 9 picks for us here.
Yeah, and I'm still questioning that Hallows pick, but it's across the board. I really like Brennan Ty. Lefty on the mound, again, high 80s. Wynn had a great career at CEU. It was offered. He was hoping to go pitch at UVU. That didn't work out for him. Got offered to go pitch at Hawaii like Clint Kelson. He ended up taking a coaching gig and went and coached at College of Eastern Utah as their pitching coach down there. So Brendan's another really good one historically for Wasatch. So here's my 9, Tyler. I've got my lineup out, and now I just need to go find the 10th guy because you wanted a DH because you couldn't put together as good of a lineup as me over here. So
you need a DH for your second
my
baseman.
My pitcher's Bolander. I've got a catcher in David Wade. Center fielder Parker Sweat. Shortstop guy Meekum. Second base is yourself, Tyler Baird. Third baseman Cord Larson. First base Noah Turley. Right field Chase Adams. And in left field, I've got Brendan Hallows.
All right, we're back at it. Runners on the corners, 1 away. It's a 4-4 game. Wasatch trying to get out of a bind here in the 7th. Swung on and fouled back for strike 1.
And I think, Tyler, if I could have changed my mind, it's too late. I can't do it now. I probably would have saved Brendan for my next pick as kind of a bullpen DH guy, and I think I probably would have went a little different route in the outfield.
0-1 the count. Crew delivers outside for ball 1. 1-1 the count.
This is a huge moment here for Wasatch, Tyler. You've got a double play candidate there at the plate. Not the best speed, but also not bad speed. So it's got to be a sharply hit ball here at your infield. You've got to quickly get the ball out of your hands.
1-1 the count. Runner with a big lead over at first base. He now takes a couple of steps back. The 1-1. It's going to bounce off the plate, and the runner comes in and scores. Tough break there from the Wasps, and Spanish Fork takes the 5-4 lead here in the top of the 7th.
That's just terrible luck, Tyler. In turf, what are the chances that ball hits that plate and shoots up like that over Landon Carter? Oh, that's just terrible bad luck right there on that ball.
And that also moves the runner to second base, so Spanish Fork now with the runner on second, 1 away, 1-1 the count. Crew comes set, delivers, gets the strike in the bottom of the zone. 1-2 now the count. 2-2 to count. 2-2 now the count. 2-2 the count. Not a big lead at second base for the base runner. The pitch misses upstairs, fills it up at full.
Wasatch will have a chance to win this one or tie it up in the bottom of the 7th, but they will be down at least by 1.
Full count pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to Chett. Chett gets the short hop, can't field it cleanly, and everybody's going to be safe. It was kind of a tweener hop, by Chett. He can't handle it, and the error puts a runner on base, so first and second with 1 away.
Yeah, that was slow enough. It was going to be a tough play there, Tyler. Chett needed to come on the attack, but I think he had in his mind that he was worried about that runner on second base as well, so he kind of waited back a little more than we normally see from him. That ball ate him up a little bit.
First and second now, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Brett Nelson, who's probably been the best hitter in the series for the Dons. He'll swing at the first pitch, foul that one straight back for strike 1.
Yeah, and he had the timing on that one, Tyler. Rhythm and timing was just what he needed. Just couldn't get the ball on plane, or the bat on plane.
Cal Nelson and John Naranjo with the race towards the ball. John comes away with it. 0-1 the count with 1 away. The pitch misses low and outside. Carter does a good job of keeping it in front of him. Runners will stay at first and second. Ty, I think I'm going to go ahead and draft my first baseman. Wasn't a traditional first baseman, but I think he's fine playing there. I'm going to go with another 2020. And I'm going to go with Parker Quinn. This one's going to bounce badly. Both runners are going to advance to second and third. Carter did all he could to keep that in front of him. But that ball bounced about 3 to 4 feet in front of the plate. And so now runners advance once again to second and third with only 1 away and a 2-1 count. So the 2020, I'm going to go Parker Quinn for my second baseman, or for my first baseman.
Ty, this getting pretty hairy for Wasatch here. Tied up 4-4 going into this one.
And this one's going to be roped. Both runs are going to come in. It's now 7-4 as it's going to get by the left fielder as well. He's got a chance at legging this one out for a triple. Instead, he'll stop at second. It's 7-4, and the Dons have a 3-run lead here in the final inning.
How big was that balk call? How big was that, Tyler? You had 2 outs and a runner on first if that umpire doesn't call that. And instead, you get a runner on second. You end up getting an infield single on the next hit, which probably is an out if you have that runner on first base. Bucad's playing deeper. He catches that ball, goes to second, and you're going to the bottom of the 7th at 4-4. Instead, the balk call is called. The next play is an infield single. Then you get a couple hits here along the way. You get some pass balls, and just like that, Wasatch is down 7-4.
Xavier Monet is going to come in as a pinch hit roll for Walker Evans. Still only one away here, Ty, in the top of the 7th. That one's in there for strike one. Won the count with one away. Couple of looks by Crew at the runner at second. Now delivers, misses low for ball one. 1-1 now the count with one away.
Got to shake that off, though, Tyler. You still got a runner on second base. These runs, it goes a long way in the bottom of the inning. You got to tighten this up and keep as many off the board as you can.
This one's going to be elevated to shallow left field. Carter Bucad floating back, makes the catch. So that's out number 2. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Cal Nilsson. Cal struck out, flew out, and grounded out. 0 for 3 today. His last at bat grounded out to the third baseman, Chett Wilson, on one of our Good Spot A plays of the game nominees. Crew comes set with the runner on second, still trying to minimize this inning, give Wasatch a chance here in the bottom of the 7th. Goes with the off speed, and that's in there for strike one. 2 big innings is what has been for the Dons. They scored 4 in the top of the 3rd and now 3 here in the top of the 7th, but still have a runner in scoring position with 2 away. This is low, 1-1 now the count. 1-1, 2 away. Crew comes set. High leg kick, delivers. That one's going to bounce again, and Carter doing a really good job behind the dish. It's really unfortunate. 2 plays, Ty, in this inning. The balk, and then that ball that bounced off the plate and went over Carter's head. Other than that one, Carter has been good. 2-1 the count, and that one really not his fault at all. 2-1 the count with 2 away. The pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to Crew. Crew fields it cleanly. He's going to underhand it to Zimmerman, and Wasatch gets out of the inning, but the damage is done. Wasatch down to their final 3 outs. They've got to score 3. 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. It's 7-4 as we go into the 7th.
You might be used to having someone ask you the question, what is it that you need? I think that's limiting. I'm going to take you through a 6-step process, and it's simply answering questions. And it might not just be home. It might be that you want that fancy new car. It might be that you want trips. It's your list. What is it that you really, really want?
Call Tom Stone at Guild Mortgage in Heber City.
Tom Stone, MLS 257849. Guild Mortgage Company is an equal housing lender. MLS 3274. All loans are subject to underwriter approval. Terms and conditions may apply. Subject to change without notice.
And now, back to the action. Wasatch High School Sports on 94.5 The Beat.
Bottom of the 7th brought to you by Gravity Coalition, offering the best in bikes, skis, snowboards, skateboards, and more in the Heber Valley. Personalized service, sales, and repair for the gear you love. Gravity Coalition in Midway, Utah, or gravitycoalition.com. This is a cool shop. Wasatch needs 3 to get back in this thing. They're down to their final 3 outs after giving up 3 in the top of the 7th. 7-4 is the score. We're going to go ahead and wrap up our Wasatch High School draft tie, both of us with 1 pick left to go. I need a second baseman, and I have bounced back and forth. And I'm debating between a guy who can also throw on the mound if I want another pitcher on my lineup that can come in. But instead I'm going to go with speed, Ty, and I'm going to go back all the way to 2003, and I'm going to go Austin Hills as my second baseman.
That's a good pick as a second baseman. Austin, really good switch hitter for Wasatch. Went and played at Southern Virginia after he was done. Also a great football player. Tyler was on that state championship runner-up team for Wasatch football. It's a good pick. I'm going to make my last pick here too, Tyler, and I've been debating. I needed a DH, and I've been going back and forth between Caleb Moritz, who hit nearly 500. He was a graduate in 2010, or Austin Oldham in 04. And I'm going to take Austin Oldham. He hit 527 his senior year, Tyler. But his best sport was probably basketball, or at least that's what he loved the most. So he didn't really want to play baseball beyond high school because basketball was his true love, was a part of those state championship basketball teams. But Austin Olin was good, and probably if I could rewind it, that's who I'd put in left field, and then have Hallows be my 10th guy for pitching.
Ashton Gurney's going to lead it off here in the in the bottom of the 7th, and Ty, one pitch, one swing. He's going to go with an extra base hit, brought to you by Wasatch Physical Therapy, and Wasatch is in business with a runner on second. They need 3 runs. Well, so still a lot of work to go, but what a swing there from Gurney.
Remember what we said earlier, Tyler, that Coach Jacobson had a chance to pull him up for a pinch hit earlier, and he pushed him back. And we talked about how important that would be to have him later in the game. You're seeing why. Another great move from Coach Jacobson to have the right guy at the right time.
Ty, another pitching change.
This is Will Dart.
Will Dart on the mound.
This is Gubb saying, we've got to have a win. You're our best arm on the team. You may not be a pitcher, but we need you to come get outs. And so they've got Will Dart on the mound, the traditional shortstop. Plays quarterback for Spanish as well. Haven't seen him on the mound in 3 years playing for the Dons, though.
Strike one here to Tad Solster, number 9 hitter. He singled and had an RBI in his last at bat. He's going to take strike 1 and strike 2. So 0-2 the count with the top of the order coming up for the Wasps.
That's a really good job from Dart, Tyler, because he was coming in with a 3-run lead, and you're going to challenge with a fastball. Well, what Wasatch do on the first pitch fastball? You could see he's not going to be able to get it by him, right? Gurney puts that one to the fence. So what does he do coming back at Tad here as he strikes out Solster? He comes with a breaking ball, and Solster doesn't offer it any of them, Tyler, because they're not ready for it. So now he's put that in the Wasatch hitters' minds. Hey, I've got a good enough breaking pitch that I can bring this to you. You can't just sit on that fastball. And Wasatch is going to have some issues, Tyler, if they're not able to jump on that fastball.
One away after a 3-pitch strikeout. It's going to be another off speed. And that'll be ball 1 to Crew Erickson. So Crew Erickson, who is 2 for 3, he doubled and had a drag bunt single. And then we got Tragan Shaw on deck. The 1-0 goes back to the off speed. It's a high chopper to the 5-6 hole. I don't think that they're going to be able to get to it. Gurney is going to round second, and he will score on the single RBI by Crew Erickson. So the score now 7-5. Wasatch creeping, and Tragan Shaw now represents the tying run at the plate.
Yeah, let's call that a turf single, huh, Ty? That ball bounced high off the turf and was able to find its way over the third baseman's head. On a normal field, that's probably falling right into third baseman's glove.
It's going to bring up Tragan Shaw. He had an RBI single in his second at bat, popped out to the second baseman and grounded out to the first. 1 for 3 today with Alex Gutierrez on deck. It's been a fun game today. Wasatch not going away. That was hits 8 and 9 to lead off this inning. 1 away with a runner on first with good speed. That run really doesn't matter, though. Tragan represents the tying run. Fastball. Tragan a little bit behind it. Fouls that one behind us. 0-1 the count.
Well, Tragan's a better fastball hitter than a breaking pitch, Ty. But Dart's now got this at bat where he can start utilizing that breaking pitch. Tragan's got to be ready for it.
Big gap to left center field. They're going to go with the drag bunt. Tragan pushes it down the line. The third baseman decides to field it, and it's in time. What a play by the third baseman. Wasatch took a gamble, and the third baseman took a gamble, and it ends up paying off for Spanish Fork. So now the tying run is at first. The tying run is still at the plate. Crew Erickson at second.
Umpires are going to have a call trying to send Crew back to first.
And they are going to send it back to first, and they're going to say Tragan Shaw was out of the box again. This happened to Chett Wilson earlier. They're going to converse about it. We'll see what they end up deciding. Wasatch already had one single taken away because of the runner being out, the hitter being out of the box. And they're, I think, debating on whether to call that the same. And if that's the case, why that matters. Tragan was already out, but Crew would have to go back to first base. And I think they're going to, Ty. They're going to put Crew back at first base.
Yeah, so that is the call. They're saying he was out of the box, Ty.
So Crew is going to have to go back to first base.
They've put their stamp on this game,
too,
Tyler.
They have put their stamp on their game.
It's not even necessarily that they're wrong, Tyler. We'd have to go back and look at the film. Was that a balk on Crew or not? I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking for it either. It very easily could have been a balk, but that gives Spanish 3 runs that follow up there, right? There, Chett being called out with the bunt, Tragan being called out with the bunt out of the box. Unfortunately, you don't want the umpires to have their stamp on the game. You want the players to win it, and that's just not the case in this one. The umpires do have their fingertips all over this game.
A lot of bang bangs, a lot of weird calls that have all gone against Wasatch. So Crew goes back to first, 2 away. The tying run still at the plate is Alex Gutierrez. And, he's going to swing at the first pitch in the dirt, and that's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, and Spanish Fork gets the win. Will Dart's going to continue to taunt the Wasatch dugout despite losing the series. So 7-5 is the final. We're going to go to the Timberline Ace Hardware postgame show after this.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Heber City Point S is locally owned and operated by Larry Rhodes and Brad Hyatt. They offer the best brand tires at low prices with extensive knowledge and experience of repair and services with no pressure sales. Only what you need. They've been taking care of cars, trucks, and trailers for over 20 years. No appointment needed, conveniently located, free shuttle service, and free Wi-Fi. Take $5 off your next visit when you tell them 94.5 The Peak sent you over. That's Heber City Point S.
A UCCU home equity line of credit puts your home's equity to work for you. Finish your basement or yard and raise your home's value. Pay off higher interest, help with college or weddings. It's peace of mind knowing that you have a low-rate line of credit ready for whatever, whenever. UCCU will also provide you with a home equity Visa card, giving you instant access to your equity. Learn more or start your application today at uccu.com or stop by any branch. UCCU. Love where you bank.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
KTMP Heber City and live sports coverage with Ty and Ty.
It's time for the Timberline Ace Hardware postgame show right here in Heber City. Visit Timberline Ace Hardware for all your hardware needs. Come in to get your car hardware, your cool outdoor clothing, and Wrangler jeans at 737 South Main behind Panda Express. Have been serving the Heber Valley for over 50 years. Wasatch drops a close one, gives up 3 runs in the top of the 7th, and ends up losing 7-5. They will drop now to 9-13 on the season and continue to flirt with the playoffs. We'll see what this loss does in the RPI. But, Ty, go ahead and give us a Gordon Law Group game recap.
Well, Ty, it was a fun one. It was a fun one to call here for Wasatch. Unfortunately, they did not come up on the right side of the scoreboard. First 2 innings were completely scoreless for both teams. Blake Sweat did a good job holding Spanish Fork at bay as he was the starting pitcher. But in the 3rd inning, walks became an issue. Wasatch walked 5 guys. Spanish was able to score 4 runs in that inning, in large part due to those 5 walks, and they took a 4-0 lead. Wasatch responded, though, scoring 2 in the bottom of the 3rd and 2 in the bottom